What is up, everyone? Hello. We have another episode of the podcast going. We got a lot less topics than normal this time around, so we'll just have to take a little bit longer on them. And there's some that I think we're going to have varying opinions on, so...
Yep.
We'll see.
Probably.
All right. As far as 2 weeks go, Mike, how's your past 2 weeks been?
2 weeks have been pretty good. So the last time we recorded this was the week before San Diego Comic-Con and Deadpool weekend. So
and then things happen.
that's going to be most of what will be talked about in this episode. As far as movies go, this past weekend was actually a really good one for the most part. Started off with the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, Trap, which I had a great time with. Josh Hartnett gives just a tremendous performance, and even the music is great too. This is basically
I've
a movie
seen that trailer so many damn times because of how many times I've seen Deadpool.
Yeah.
Now that was a twist.
Yeah.
What a twist!
We will be talking about Deadpool because of course. And now that the spoiler embargo is like fully lifted, they've been given a lot of
Really, dude?
Yeah.
The other movies that I spent the weekend watching were obviously the Zack Snyder director's cuts of Rebel Moon, chapters 1 and 2.
Such a liar, Umbriana.
Yeah. I was just about to say, you're a fucking liar, dude. I edited your audio.
Nobody believes you, Umbreon. And then we got Batman Caped Crusader, which again we will definitely be talking about later. But
Yep.
And then there's a Sandy Cheeks movie that Netflix put out or whatever.
Well, yeah, officially.
Holiday Hoopy Whatty?
You think?
Exactly.
I have zero clue what that was.
Okay.
I don't know if you're lying to me.
Oh yes, the movie of the year,
Movie
the
of the
movie
year.
to ever movie.
Yeah, the movie got leaked on Twitter in its entirety back in January, and everyone was shitting on it.
What? How?
Oh, speaking of leaks, so apparently Netflix anime or whatever got leaked into, and like the first 2 episodes of Don leak, which I refuse to watch, but also the Ranma reboot. I'm like, y'all have the fucking like cheese it on like your servers, like trying to keep everything together. Like, what is going on?
I don't know what's happening anymore.
All right.
Nor
Kiana,
do I.
How was your 2 weeks been?
It's been okay. It's been all right. Yeah. Batman Caped Crusader, like Mike said, that was one of the big things. Yeah, and just keeping up with the Comic-Con news and everything like that. Game Informer getting completely killed.
Literally.
Definitely not a good thing, not a fun thing. Literally killed. It's killed deader than dead, like I said. I said that on stream the other day, and it's just ridiculous. Yeah, man, we're gonna talk about that. I have a rant about that shit. Let's see, what else? Yeah, I mean, other than that, you know, it's just been, okay. Living. Moving onward.
Well, that's good.
We will now be less game informed. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly, Umbreon. Exactly.
Less informed about how much GameStop has always sucked, and like, you know, unless you like need something, like, don't ever fucking shop there.
No, don't.
Nope.
Bree,
Do
how's
not.
your 2 weeks been?
Well, birthday was on Sunday. I went to the art museum. I did
Happy
photography.
birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
And
happy
I'm
belated.
Yep, happy belated. Well, here at Zeroing Out, every day is our birthdays because we're always partying in here. Anyway, bumping that. Anyway, and Mike understands that reference now. But
Throw a shot in the dark and say that's from a Charlie XCX song.
you know that,
Possibly.
because
Possibly.
which, by the way, I didn't realize that our birthdays are like 2 days apart, but she had like this crazy party, and then I forget who it was, but one of her friends or whatever brought her like a cigarette bouquet. It's just like a bouquet of cigarettes, and I'm like, I don't smoke.
I gathered that part. Cigarette bouquet.
Yes. It's a magical thing. I don't smoke, but I'm like, like, I might. Like, yeah, thinking about it, I'm like,
I didn't know I didn't know that she was from the middle of Arkansas.
I mean, Essex is basically Arkansas of the UK, to be fair, so... but anyway, shit. No, I've been doing photography. I've been working on the screenplay and editing episodes that are going to be on the podcast networks very soon, and I wasted 2 hours making my background today, so that's what I've been doing.
Jacob, how about you?
It's been going good. Today I just applied for a new job at MSU. I essentially already have my interview with this new supervisor, and we're basically off to the races now. The application was just a formality. I mentioned this last time. It's about like helping, like doing a study about how autism is depicted in kids' books. The supervisor, she seems very passionate about this, and which I'm all for. I saw Deadpool and Wolverine twice.
Nice.
A third of how many times you've seen it, Brock.
There's still time.
Still time. It was a great time in the theaters, I gotta say. I finished Caped Crusader today for this episode. It's been doing well. I'm happy for the future. I truly am.
Yeah. Like I said, like alluded to, I've seen Deadpool 6 times at this point. I still have to see it with my surrogate dad, so we may make it to the magical 7th. We'll see. I am one of the people getting that thing to the #1 grossing R-rated movie. I will help. It doesn't need it, but I will help.
It just beat the passion.
The passion of the Christ. So,
domestically.
anytime you can say "fuck you, Mel Gibson," I mean, that to me is worth it.
Here was one of my favorite things was I saw a post on I want to say it was Facebook or TikTok. No, on Twitter or TikTok, where it showed that post from Ryan where it's like, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to put the suit on again. It's kind of one of those things where you put it away and see what happens. And then underneath, after that, it was like $465 million domestically and $893 million in its 10 days in. And then it's the guy going, till you're 90! It's one of those things where I was like, wow, it made $900 million in 10 days. I don't know what the sequel's going to be, but I bet it has both Hugh Jackman and Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds in it again.
I don't know. They might throw a major plot twist at us.
Umbreon, anyone who wants to watch a movie on TikTok is a loser. Sorry to tell you, joke or not. If you're watching a movie on anything other than in the theater, I don't like you. Sorry. Don't pirate shit. I feel that way for everything. Unless it is an Ubisoft game, because they tell you don't own your game, so therefore piracy isn't stealing.
It's morally correct, but seriously, the thing of Twitter is like, I think most of their like videos top at like compressed like booty ass maybe 720 1080p. Yeah. I'm like, why are you eating like literal garbage? Like, it just like you would have a better time like licking something off the streets of like the New York City subway than trying to watch a movie on Twitter. I'm like, have some fucking self-respect.
And I am not going to watch what is now. When did Nightmare Before Christmas come out?
93.
October
93?
13th, 1993, I believe.
So as of 31 years, my favorite opening to a movie was Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm not watching my now new favorite intro to a movie ever on anything other than the big screen when I can. That opening to Deadpool and Wolverine is sex on the screen. Oh! There are 206 bones in the human body. 207 if I'm watching Gossip
What you got, girl?
Just the best. Revenge of the Sith and Dark Knight.
Indeed.
Dark Knight is pretty good. All right, so yeah. Other than that, watch Cape Crusader. I am like one episode away from finishing Gen V, like one episode away from finishing Codebreaker. I'm watching like 7 things at once, which is something I don't normally do. Been getting some cosplay stuff together. The new recent thing I showed last week. I don't know if I actually showed this part though, but on top of getting my Virgil cosplay together, I am getting a Red Hood cosplay together.
Ah, very nice. Very nice.
Which, hold on.
Nice. I
Nice.
like it.
But I'm doing the Arkham Knight version other than the helmet, because God, do I hate the helmet they gave Jason Todd in Arkham Knight. But the most recent
bit of a
part
weird
that I
helmet.
got was
There you go.
his pistols. So I literally need to get like his knee bracers and his belt, and I have it done. The jacket I've literally had for
Very
years
cool.
since the game came out. There was a sale on Facebook, and I had got the jacket and the vest and everything. And I have a convention coming up this next weekend that I'm pretty excited about, where it's an anime convention in Milwaukee. $1,000 if you can guess who the first person in... And this was started being announced... September of last year at this anime convention, who was the first guest announced. I'll give one of you guys $1,000 if you can guess.
I have a feeling it's gonna make me laugh.
Wait, is it somebody you're excited to see?
Oh, it's someone I'm excited to see. It's
it
not
Yuri?
the reason I'm... No, it's not the reason I'm going, but it's the person I'm excited to see. No, it's not Yuri Lowenthal.
Okay.
The voice of Master Chief.
Oh.
Oh shit,
What?
I was like,
dude.
Anime 411, first guess, Master Chief.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
I don't think you got the memo of it being an anime convention. That's cool. I'm happy. But what? No, I'm mostly going because, and
That's
Mike will be
awesome.
excited about this, I'm mostly going because of Todd Haberkorn, who voices Death the Kid in Soul Eater.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty excited about that. But anyway, all right, let's get into the topics that we have at hand. And I have a new, what I want to say, category of thing to do each week that I thought of because of a conversation me and Mike had the other day. All right, so first one going up. This I'm going to start with Kiona. This is a buy or sell off of a statement that Ryan Reynolds said.
Okay.
There is no Fox, Marvel Marvel Universe, or MCU without Blade first creating the market. He's Marvel Daddy. Please retweet for a Logan-style send-off. Would you buy or sell a old man Blade?
I would buy that. I would buy that. Yes, absolutely. Yes, and Ryan is correct. Yes, Blade is the one that sort of kickstarted everything. I would love to see it, honestly. I think that would be really cool.
Oh,
If anything, there's an opportunity to do it.
Well, I think if anything, have a better send off than Blade 3.
Yes,
Oh, I
yes,
don't- I don't
yes.
know.
Anything would be better than Blade.
I think Vagina Dentata and fighting Triple H as your main villain was a pretty great send-off. Bree, buy or sell?
No, I buy it.
Well, when you put it
I
like
mean,
that.
I buy it. I mean, just because of like all the crazy, like shit, you know, just to kind of give Blade its flowers, and not only that, but considering that the other Blade movie is kind of in like hell
it's
right
in
now.
limbo.
Yeah, at least have, and I still want to see Marshala Ali as Blade because I think that's sick as hell.
Oh, absolutely.
And then, you know, we have the Blade game coming out. So I feel like we do need to have some sort of Blade thing and have it just be like a one-off shoot just to kind of wrap that Blade story up. I think would be nice.
Absolutely. And just like I don't know, like I don't mean to be mean. Is Chris Christopherson still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, if you could have old man Whistler
That would be
with
amazing,
Blade.
honestly.
My other part was, I'm like, if he doesn't get this send off, I'm like, would y'all be against Wesley Snipes being Whistler?
I was actually thinking about that.
But Mike, buy or sell?
Sure. I buy one more go around. I'll admit, before Deadpool and Wolverine, because before I saw the movie, I had no idea he was going to be in it.
No.
I didn't think that like we would see like Wesley Snipes actually be Blade again, just because of all the horror stories about Blade Trinity. But
Keep talking, I'm still listening.
But like, just the fact that he's this passionate about the character, yeah, I totally buy him wanting to do one more movie just so he ends on a high note.
Did you see the interviews where Wesley Snipes was pretty much like, yeah, I hated him for a little bit, but then I never really got asked about it ever again?
I didn't see those ones.
Like, someone interviewed him and he's like, I get a text from Ryan Reynolds after 20 years. I'm like, what the fuck, I hate this guy. And he's like, I'm joking. We've been playing that for like 20 years. I don't hate
Oh, that
Ryan
was the
Reynolds.
EW.
Yeah.
That was the EW interview
Yeah. And
at
then
Comic-Con, yeah.
Oh wait,
Yeah,
I did see that.
And then there was another one that came out where he's like, I did have issues with Ryan during the movie because I had never been in a movie with an actor like Ryan who was that on all the time. And I thought Ryan was just being like that to be like that. And I'm like, no, that's just how Ryan is. He wasn't being something. That's just who he is. And I wasn't used to that in an actor. After that, I was okay after I just realized that's who Ryan is as a person. So it was like, he gave an insanely mature response about it. I was like, oh, you know.
And also, it was like over 20 years ago. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they buried the hatchet, I think. Now.
Absolutely. It was just one of those things where, like, again, I've seen so many people coming out of the woodwork going, like, Ryan Reynolds literally fought tooth and nail to put me in this movie. The amount of respect I have for Ryan Reynolds by the day skyrockets. He might be my new favorite actor. Jacob, would you buy or sell an old man Blade movie?
I buy because Blade's the reason why people thought the superhero genre was dead after Batman and Robin, and people don't give the original Blade enough credit for restoring people's faith in the comic book genre. And just in case, Mahershala Ali, maybe in the chance that the most we'll ever have of him is the post-credit scene for Eternals.
The scene was so fucking stupid.
No arguments here. I'd be lucky to give this a shot. Yeah. Lord knows what they're gonna do with Blade now. Two-time Oscar-winning actor Mahershala Ali, and they still haven't figured out what to do with him.
Two-time Oscar winner calls them and says he wants to play Blade.
Yeah.
You cancel nothing against Captain Marvel, but you stop making those movies. You don't even need to have this movie be that important. It could just be a movie about him killing things, and then all of a sudden, oh no, Secret Wars. That's all you have to do. The movie doesn't have to deal with anything.
Right.
Well, I think that's been the problem for Marvel, the last couple of phases, but I don't think people picked up on it as much because, the movies were banging on all four quadrants, but this whole it has to be connected. It's such bullshit. And the irony is with Deadpool 3 is the whole point of it is that he's not connected to the MCU, so you can make movies. It doesn't have to be this interconnected thing, because that's how you get into trouble how they have been with the comics the last couple decades.
Hey, there's a reason why Dracula Untold didn't do well. Vampire movies are hard to make.
Give it to Robert Eggers. His Nosferatu
Good.
remake comes out December.
Yeah,
I am
Oh,
very
shit, that's
excited for that.
right.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
the other thing that was a
Yeah.
part of that was Wesley Snipes on his first time going to Comic-Con. We didn't have things like this back in the Blade days. This is very big. Makes you want to do more Marvel films. Get that shit off of there. I don't know, like, the last thing I saw... I thought... That was Mel Brooks. I thought that said Mel Gibson.
I was like, what is the problem with Mel Brooks here? What's happening right now?
Was Dracula Dead loving it really that bad?
Oh my god! I'm so sorry. I seriously thought that said Mel Gibson. Okay. Oh wow! I'm sorry.
Speaking of one, I already kind of had like the for Mel Gibson even before this thing, because I actually was in town when they were filming Signs. So
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
yeah, I'm
Great
really
hear
dating
about
myself
that.
there. So yeah,
I-
so the one scene in Signs, like right outside where they go to the hardware store, that was like right outside my shrink at the time. So
No, I want Mel Brooks literally only focusing on the fact that he's doing Spaceballs 2. I don't want any other thing from that because I want that movie to be good. I don't want any other things going on with that man. The fact that he's actually doing it, I want that movie to be good or don't make it.
Yes, yes, indeed. Agreed.
But, all right. I don't know who this also applies to as much as me because I watched it religiously. Mike, buy or sell that the Death Battle team not only stayed together but got the rights to their show back after the WB conglomerate monster shut down Rooster Teeth.
I buy it mostly just for them, that they get to keep going. I'm not as into Death Battle as other people, but I'm just happy for them that they get to continue.
Yes, absolutely. Kiona?
The stuff I've seen from them has been pretty cool, so yeah, I'm definitely, I buy it. I'm happy that they're able to continue, for sure.
Absolutely.
And independently, too. That's really nice.
I mean, I root for anyone who's able to like get their IP back when they get like,
Yes.
bought out or these sort of things, because this isn't like a new thing with like WB and Rooster Teeth. Do y'all remember
Yeah.
Maker?
Yep.
Try not to.
God,
Yeah.
I'm like these like networks and like hosting generally for like things like YouTube, it's never like a good scene. Like I've never heard like a happy ending with any of them. So anytime you can reassert control over your IP, at like I'm gonna root for you, even if it's like not my most favorite thing in the world. Like, oh my god, like I have to watch every episode.
No. And it's also from what I see, their Kickstarter is absolutely hauling ass and getting all the goals that they have set, like having to create new ones. When
That's so cool.
They're south of, I think, like $600,000.
Damn.
Wow.
It's
Good
kicking
job.
ass. Jacob, did you watch Death Battle at all?
I had just looked it up, but I haven't heard of it. Apparently, it used to be on Screw Attack.
It did.
Oh,
It
God.
started out there, and then so Monty, the guy who made Ruby, used to be the main guy animating and doing stuff for Screw Attack, and then Monty got hired by Rooster Teeth, and then those guys stayed working on it, and then Rooster Teeth bought Screw Attack, and after a while, basically all of Screw Attack got shut down, and then Death Battle got made into its own channel. So.
By default, pass. No, sorry, stop. Buy. Sorry, buy. If
Buy,
it makes
yes.
everyone happy. Sorry.
No, I get it, absolutely. I'm very happy for those guys because they're absolutely awesome dudes, and they put asinine amounts of research. Like, just, this is the amount of force it would take to punch this human through this 3-foot block of, like, just, how do you even do those calculations? It's stupid. But, alright, so, here is a really small one. I just thought it was cool. We had to bring it up. Kiona, buy or sell the new DC Comics Studio logo?
Love it. Bye.
The old schoolness of it?
The old school logo, yes, I wish that they would do that for the comics too. I hope that they do eventually.
Yeah.
Just unify it.
Yeah. Mike?
Of course I buy, and I hope what they do for like each like different character that they do like either shows or movies for, they change the logo to represent that character.
That would be
I-
awesome.
Yes.
Honestly, that would be amazing.
Marvel
That
did
sh-
that kind of briefly. I remember, like when the comic
Mhm.
flipping thing, they would have like panels of those comics. Like I think
Yep.
Hulk did like an X-Men and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I would
They
like them
did.
to bring that back. That was awesome.
yeah.
Like
that was
little
really,
touches like
really
that mean so much. Like, do you know how much it just melts my heart now just to see that shot of Deadpool's head raising up in the Marvel logo now? Just to like that little bit is so great when you see the new addition, like to that little thing you're used to. Jacob?
And it shows that they put work into it too, and some thought
Bye.
into it, which is really cool.
Exactly.
Bye. James Gunn is embracing DC's roots, and I am all here for it.
Absolutely. Agree.
Yes.
And first of all, anyone hating on it who says it looks cheap, you're a fucking idiot. Like, I'm just gonna straight up, I'm like, you know nothing about design, you just hate fun, and you just want to bitch because, you know, your Snyderverse isn't happening. Like, Jesus Christ, like, support him in other
Yeah,
ways. Like,
really, though.
move on. It's been like, what, 3 or 4 years now? Like, you got your Snyder cut. Just go away. Shoot.
Oh no,
Shoot.
we're gonna get more into Mr. Snyder later because I have a rant that I don't know who's gonna agree with me on, but I'm sick of the ploy with his movies for certain things. We're gonna have a lot of rants today. I have a feeling.
Oh,
I
boy.
think, yeah. It's a
No,
rant
but I
episode.
love it. Yes, no, I like it's creative, and I just
Yes.
I'm happy that, you know, we're finally getting away from like these weird like sterile logos.
Yes.
I'm just it's like no, I'm like comic book movies are supposed to be fun. Like I'm not saying it
Yes.
can't be art, but treating it like it's a super like serious thing. Like if you want to do like a serious logo for like Joker or whatever, like that's fine. But I'm like if you're making your standard like PG-13 like comic book movie, I'm like it's not that serious. Like we don't have to be
No.
treating it like it's
No.
like A24. I'm like come on.
No, it feels like
It's a
stinger.
It's a return to what gave them a brand identity, I feel, and that's like sorely been missing. I feel like that's really been missing in terms
Yeah,
of
I
like,
miss the old DC.
just the logos.
The C with
Yeah.
the flip open like a comic book.
Yeah, that was
I
cool.
miss
Yeah.
that logo. I miss that a lot.
Yeah.
All right. I guess Jacob, I don't know if you're into this or not, but buy or sell a live-action Voltron reboot greenlit at Amazon.
Bye. That's literally just bye.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Kiana. I don't know why they didn't do Gundam. That's gonna be my response, but go ahead.
Because they couldn't
Christ,
afford
you are
it.
Absolutely right. I don't
they
know.
couldn't
Apparently
afford
they're doing an Ava series too.
What?
That's what I read. I read that they're yeah. Okay, so
Live
wait, hold on. The IGN article here. It's gonna be from Ross and Marshall Thurber, who did like Red Notice and who did like Skyscraper and all those like. So I'm already kind of iffy on that, but
It's live action.
yeah, apparently.
I'm
Jesus.
surprised Kara even allowed that because they've been like so super protective. I'm just, but
Yeah,
but
it says-
why?
It says
I
after a
don't
bidding
need
war.
to see Ray's dead body be paraded around by Gendo Akari, telling Shinji to get in the fucking mech or I'll make the cripple do it. I don't need it. I don't need panty shots of fucking Asuka on a carrier because they're perverts. They're teenagers.
Okay. So this is what it says.
First of all, dude, I'm like gonna clip that for like a YouTube thing. Like it has
Yes,
to.
absolutely, absolutely.
More
So it says
people
here-
need to storm off.
That clip's gonna haunt me.
People need to storm off the screen more like you do, Brock. I don't know how many people do that
Yes!
like in the middle of the.
Yes, thank you, Zach. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
I remember like Brock, you did the same thing when I mentioned Saw Patrol at the Christmas special.
God, don't remind me.
No,
Don't
no
mind
Saw
me.
Patrol. No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Okay,
So-
we're
you
gonna,
just got up and you were like-
wait. That just became a topic to go on to later, so we don't spend an hour in buy or sell. Let's move that on to a topic we can talk about later.
Okay, fair enough.
So it says here, Hollywood Reporter reports that the newest version of the popular anime from the 80s will join the likes of Neon Genesis Evangelion on the service. I don't know if that means, like, it sounded like initially like they were doing a live action thing also of Ava. I do not know.
Or does that mean that?
Or does that mean that it's just joining it?
I'm going to pray for my soul.
That's
it is joining
unclear.
it.
Yeah,
But
it's unclear unless they mean
That's
the movies
unclear.
that kids have.
Yeah, unless they mean that.
Either way, they didn't say it's also getting a live action in there anywhere, correct?
No,
It said it's going
no,
to
it doesn't
join-
specifically say that, but it says that it joins Evangelion, and they said it was after a bidding war
So that sounds
to
like they had
get the live
bid to
action
get-
thing
That
made.
sounds like they had to bid to get Voltron, and it's just going to join other animes that
Maybe.
they have made. Because Amazon is big on
Maybe.
making animes.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to
So I don't
literally
know.
pray to fucking God.
Oh God, I hope they don't do a live action Ava. I think that would be an even more disastrous idea if they ever
Anyway,
did that. But
I
like
know-
anyway,
we're gonna
getting back
we're gonna sit here for an hour on
Voltron.
that.
Voltron,
God,
I'm just
no.
gonna say I'm gonna say Cell.
Praying with you, bro.
I'm gonna say Cell. I don't think I need to see a live action Voltron. I really don't.
Umbreon, really?
Get in
Dude.
the reboot, Shinji. Dear God. Anyway, okay. Bree, buy or sell Voltron.
Okay, let me just preface something. Voltron is a very frustrating series because the last
Yes, it
reboot went so well. Like, it started great and then just went off into like a fucking crater, and beyond that crater was like a pile of shit, on top of, the remains of Enron. So
So you sell.
I just even before Legendary Defenders, there was like this weird like CG like reboot of Voltron. I'm like, I don't even think like Voltron's like, was it even like that like popular compared to
In the
Gundam?
90s it
It's
was.
I just
In the 90s it
I
was.
don't know why like we need like another version of Voltron. Like, if you like really you were bidding for that and like not like Gundam, the robot IP that most people like associate with the genre. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. I don't know, on a streaming show, because this is obviously going to be like something that's CG heavy. I don't know. It just seems like an ill thought idea, just like Harold and the Purple Crayon with Zachary Levi.
It made $9 million globally over the weekend.
It was 6 behind Inside Out 2 in its 8th weekend.
Like, this is turning out to be like, I guess, the 2020s version of like Oogie Loves and the Great Balloon Adventure, of just being complete Chernobyl disasters at the box office.
So you sell then.
Yes, I do sell.
Okay. All right, Mike.
I sell this just because the actual reason why Amazon's not bidding on Gundam is because Netflix already has a live action Gundam something in the works with Brian K. Vaughan. But that's been in development hell for like at least half a decade, so I don't know the status of that.
Like, at this point, it's probably not happening, like, just realistically.
Yeah, especially when Netflix says they're trying to cut down on spending.
Oh, yeah, sure they are.
Yeah, I say trying.
Yeah, trying.
All right. Moving on from that. Mike, buy or sell the Creature Commandos trailer?
I buy quite a bit.
That thing looks weird as shit. Kiana.
That's a feature, not a bug.
Yes.
Yeah. I buy it too. I think it looks really good. I think it looks interesting at the very least. Plus, they're keeping Viola Davis as
Yeah,
As Amanda
Viola
Waller.
Davis is always a win.
yeah.
She's becoming their version of Wolverine.
And they're keeping Sean Gunn as Weasel too.
Yes,
Can't forget that.
Yes, that is true. Bree.
I mean, obviously, the last Suicide Squad movie, like, Viola Davis was, like, such a, like, a delight. Like, her comedic timing, like, just taking,
Great.
like, the little nothing burger she got from, like, the Ayer version and, like, made Waller into a top-tier character. And, have you guys seen, like, the, Suicide Squad anime ending?
Yeah, I have.
I haven't
Yeah,
started. I haven't started this.
Did you watch the ending though? Like the music ending.
I've seen a little bit of it.
I see Amanda Waller breaking it down. I'm like, she's like becoming like a memeable character, and I feel like it's like so ironic, and we should just embrace that version of Amanda Waller.
Yes.
The Suicide Squad ending, our editor watched Mashal once and said, I can do that. Jacob, buy or sell?
Buy. Hard buy. I'm glad that we're like, and I'm glad that we're getting what people expect from a James Gunn DC universe with Creature Commandos and Waller before he really wows us with Superman, and and just trumps like everyone's like bad faith criticisms that like he's not fit for Superman, that he's too ironic for Superman.
I swear, if I have to see that one more time.
No, that got killed by the fact that that shows that he doesn't have the heart to do a Superman movie. Thank you for telling me you haven't watched a single Guardians film.
Like, did you even see the last one? You know, like
none of them. Good God! All right, so I guess we'll start with this. Kiona. And I'll just read off the thing that Jensen read for buy or sell for this. Introducing the next deranged entry into the world of the boys, Vought Rising, starring Jensen Ackles and Aya Cash, set in the 1950s, exploring the early exploits of Soldier Boy and a soup you know as Stormfront. Only advice for now is keep your hands off the fucking shield. Do you buy or sell a new show fronted by Stormfront and Soldier Boy?
Very much a buy. Very much a buy for me. Yeah. Love Jensen. Love Aya Cash. I think she's a really good actress. I think, yeah. Don't like the character. Love the actress though. And I think that like, yeah, it's an interesting angle to take it. I worry about the fact that they're doing so many spin-offs of The Boys, but that's okay, you know?
But they're only gonna have
see.
two going because it'll start after the actual Boys is done.
Yeah. So it'll be okay.
And they're being smart in keeping it way the hell before The Boys happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Bree.
I mean, it seems like it's working for them. You know, I feel like, you know, we haven't had too much of like The Boys that people are gonna get sick of it yet. So
yeah, we're not in Walking Dead territory with this.
Oh God.
And the difference is they're doing well at keeping them different. It's not just, but also in California.
Meanwhile, you know,
in New York, there are zombies.
Yeah, and these zombies are slightly different and weird looking.
Yeah.
They have they like to surf and drive electric cars. Mike, buy or sell.
Electric zombies coming to AMC.
Don't give them ideas. My God, don't give them ideas.
Please don't.
Don't give them ideas.
No, I buy this. I want to see more Soldier Boy in the Boys universe. And
definitely.
Kind of like what Kiona said, Stormfront is a horrible character, but Aya Cash like performs the hell out of that role. So of course I want to see more.
For this time frame though, also I'm kind of wondering if you're going to see her as Liberty and not Stormfront.
Probably.
Or a little bit of both. Jacob, did you say? I remember during the stream saying you didn't watch The Boys.
Not a single episode.
Got it. Okay. All right. Move over there.
So buy again. Default buy.
Yeah. I buy the living shit out of it. The fact that Jensen's going to get his own show again as that character who was the star of that season. And if they keep making it so that the premises are different enough, like Gen V does not feel like I'm watching just The Boys with different characters. It feels like a different show that just has that world in it. So they do very well with separating them. All right. I did not watch this trailer, so I will ask for those who did. Mike, Rings of Power Season 2 trailer?
I buy it because I am actually quite a big fan of the first season of Rings of Power. I'm not sure how much it actually gives away, so if you're one of those people who just like doesn't watch trailers, you can just like go into the season blind. But I just am very excited for season 2.
Nice.
So yes, it's a buy.
Kiona, did you watch it?
I did not watch it. I did not like season 1, so I'm gonna say so.
Okay, Bree.
I really don't care about Lord of the Rings too much, so I'm kind of indifferent. Like, the most excited I got with Lord of the Rings the last few years is that fucking Gollum game.
Oh.
I love train wrecks.
wow.
Oh,
I
God.
love train wrecks. They make me happy.
That game's
Good
like the
God.
room of video games now. It's like it's like the new like the last time I've seen like a game like this objectively bad like big rigs over the road racing was
That's
like
what I was gonna say. Yeah, big rigs in Superman 64. The sad part is, not long after Gollum came that fucking King Kong game. That
Oh, which was
yeah.
actually made by the same company that made fucking Big Rigs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Game
I'm
though.
not. Yeah, and they also made that stupid ass Walking Dead game that came out a few months ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Jacob.
buy.
what you-
I actually this time it's an enthusiastic buy this time. Even like on the comments for the trailer on YouTube, people are actually I was expecting them to rip it to shreds and like no, that they think it looks much better than season 1. I'm glad that we're finally seeing a visual version of Tom Bombadil, a
Okay,
character
that's a cool thing too.
every Lord of the Rings adaptation, like basically from like the Peter Jackson trilogy, the Bakshi anime movie, the BBC radio series, they've all excluded Tom Bombadil for time purposes, and but
I have something to say about Tom Bombadil in a second. Please continue. So my only knowledge of Tom Bombadil is from My Immortal.
Oh no.
I don't understand this whatsoever.
the fanfic. So, basically, because J.K. Rowling is fucking shit, My Immortal's the only version of Harry Potter I'll acknowledge. And I guess the author, like, because no one knows if it's, like, a shit post or if they actually meant it. I'm personally in the camp where it's kind of a little bit of both. But anyway, I guess the author confused Tom Riddle with Tom Bombadil.
Oh no.
they do know that I am Lord Voldemort is like an anagram, like it's
Yes.
like anagram of
It's NASCAR spelled backwards, right?
yeah.
Vroom vroom.
That's an old
just know they
Funhouse
can't
joke. They're
compete.
like, "Hey, did you know that NASCAR is spelled spelled backwards is NASCAR?" It's like,
And now you're saying NASCAR. Now it makes me want to watch Talladega Nights, like, randomly, like, right now.
good lord. All right. Yeah, we're gonna move on from that. That we don't need to talk about. But all right. I guess I'll start with Jacob because he's the one that brought it up. Buy or sell the Rendezvous in Paris Usher film?
I would buy. Like, I think it's a cool idea. It's cool that it's cool that like I've noticed that AMC theaters they've really gone into like the concert film distribution thing with Taylor Swift the Eras Tour and Beyonce's Renaissance, both of which I saw in the theater with my girlfriend. I just think it's really cool that AMC, like, they're kind of like these music artists are basically cutting out the middleman to like get their concert movies. There's like concert films. It's such a cool way to like bring like the communal experience, like kind of mixing the communal experience of concerts with that in movies. And one thing I have noticed is that AMC they've even released like on their own, like they've released documentaries like Butterfly in the Sky, a Green Rainbow documentary, Bad River about a group of like Native Americans like near Lake Superior trying to remove a pipeline that threatens Lake Superior, and also this U2 Sarajevo documentary called Kiss the Future. So I just think it's a really cool future, like where movie theaters can actually distribute movies by their own without like major Hollywood studios to rely on. So yeah, I'm glad that Usher's throwing his hat into the ring here. So yeah, bye.
Mike.
I buy it. I hope that my theater, which is not an AMC, is somehow able to screen it, because we did get the Eras Tour and Renaissance. I wasn't able to catch that one, but I did see the Eras Tour with a pretty big crowd too. It felt like I was there at one of her shows. It was honestly pretty awesome.
Nice. Bree?
I mean, I'm willing to have more different theatrical experiences. Like, if the movies aren't gonna like keep up to like the levels, where it's harder and harder to find good food. I'm like, yeah. I mean, obviously there's a market for it. Like, people are going to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And people start to lose enthusiasm with Hollywood movies. So like, yeah, like musicians, they can provide that.
Kiona,
Yeah,
noted big Swiftie.
I buy
Shake it
it.
off,
I buy
dude.
it.
Shake it
fine.
off.
No, Jesus. Jesus Christ.
All right, yeah, it's cool.
Taylor is our god now. I know.
Yeah,
The most famous cat lady on the planet, and they're insulting her.
The only reason why the Chiefs won the Super Bowl was because it was Taylor Swift's boyfriend. She is the god of the universe now, and all us other mortals.
It was the
can
last
just
play
go
of the
suck
game,
it,
too.
Apparently. Just go suck it.
It's just I'm sorry if like side
Fine.
is tracking. I was texting Mike about this earlier. Like, I feel like the Grammys is going to be like the duel between Taylor Swift and like Chapel Roan, and I'm like, there's just going to be so many upset like gay people, and I'm queer, I could say that. I'm like, I am so excited. Like, this is I already watched the Super Bowl, but this is like my second Super Bowl.
It's gonna be chaos this time.
Yeah. All right, Kiona.
Yes.
I'm going to mainly talk with you on this one because you are
Okay.
my Destiny 2 player here.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Former
Okay.
Bungie worker claims studio faced insolvency without Sony acquisition. Bungie misrepresented its finance and had significantly overextended itself when Sony acquired the studio. Workers blame Bungie management.
Yeah,
You're not on the
because-
podcast. If you were on the podcast, I would have said you.
Because you know what? It's absolutely right that it is management's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so the reason why we're in the situation that we're in as Destiny 2 fans and as people that have played, I mean, I've played since the alpha of Destiny 1. So, I mean, like, I was there from the beginning of this. And I really, really gotta say I agree with Umbreon. Hell yeah, fuck Pete Parsons. Pete Parsons should definitely step down. This is seriously mismanaged company, mismanaged developer, mismanaged studio, whatever you want to call it. It's just gone all the way downhill. At the beginning, I feel like just 1 year ago, we were in a very different position than we are now as Destiny players or Lapse players, as the case may be with me. I did not play Final Shape, just because by that time they had used up all their goodwill with me, and frankly, the last round of layoffs definitely is like, it killed my enthusiasm to even play the game, frankly. And I know that like you want to support like whoever's left, but the thing of it is that the studio's being managed into the ground, mismanaged into the ground.
Yep.
Pete Parsons going shopping for cars while he's laying off workers. I mean, this is so ridiculous. The fact that
showing them off to his workers before laying
showing them off to his workers, yes, exactly. I mean, like, yeah, no. Final Shape is good. Final Shape is good, but it's just that like I just had a hard time playing it because of the fact that the last round of layoffs just hit really hard for me. And this one even it's like, what are you even gonna do anymore with this IP? It's ridiculous. Like, this is pretty much the death knell for Destiny, I feel like. I don't think with smaller content updates, it just sounds like it's going to die. They're just gonna let it wither and die.
It's really a shame.
It is a shame.
Honest to God, Kiona. Honest to God. If they if they just cut it off and started fresh on Destiny 3, would you care?
Yes, I mean, I think that if they decided to, like, the only updates that we get are like bug fixes or whatever, and just decided to move on to Destiny 3, I would be for that. But the thing of it is that the studio is now, I don't even know that they can make a Destiny 3. Can they? They're so far gutted. Pete Parsons is sitting there getting more bajillions of dollars for doing shit, you know? And I'm just like, it's lucky in a way that Sony bailed them out, but I'm so worried right now that Bungie is just going to be absorbed into Sony and just become a first-party studio. I just don't know what's going to happen anymore, because, you know, now they're developing it in just in line with Sony's teams.
Well, that's the thing, though. What I'm seeing with this, and I'm not trying to be a Sony pony here. I'm really
no.
not. At
Go
this
ahead.
point, they
offer
have their own.
perspective.
They have their independence at this point. And I'm going to tell you right now, Sony's made some really dumb decisions. Days Gone 2 should have been fucking greenlit. Just going to say that. It did not do well, and yes, people, there was a petition with 500,000 people to get a sequel. Guess what?
Yeah.
That is not even 1 million copies, which is what they said it wouldn't sell. So if it would have been a petition for 5 million people to buy it, that would have been a different story. But I see all these people complaining online. You're liking what you... Wow, I've never...
What the?
That's a new one.
That's a new thing, Streamlabs.
Okay.
Dude, I thought that was a bot.
I thought it was too. Oh, my stream bot thing is on from when I was doing the giveaway. Still, I didn't shut it back off.
Oh man, I thought that was a bot. Honestly, I was gonna ban it.
I was like, what the hell? But anyway. So it's if they don't do well enough, Sony's going to take them over. And I see these people crying online, going, "Oh dear God, we can't let that happen. Oh dear God, we can't let that happen. Bungie will fall apart if we let that happen." What the fuck is happening now?
Yeah, and
when they have control of their own company.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And the reason is because of management. That's the whole reason. It's because Pete Parsons would rather buy cars than make games.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want Bungie to go away. I don't. But if you, honest to God, brought them in under and...
Yeah, no, hard, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you brought them in, made it so they actually had some control, and someone could forcibly tell Pete Parsons to fuck off, I don't think that'd be a bad thing. And you want to know how that's only going to happen? Is if someone was actually in control of them, and they aren't independent. Because right now, their biggest problem is that they can't get rid of the guy who's in charge.
Yeah.
So,
no, I see what you're saying.
It's one of those situations where maybe some overhead wouldn't hurt.
Maybe.
Could it fail? Absolutely. But at this point, they aren't doing good on their own.
No.
And you're 1,000% right. It's all management.
Yeah. So I don't really know what's going to happen. All I know is that I have a feeling that Destiny is it's the death knell.
Yeah,
it's so sad. Yeah. It is so sad. Nice one, Umbreon, by the way, with the reference there. I like that. Whether we wanted it or not.
Moving on to another great company. Game Informer shuts down after 33 years.
Hey, gang. You know, this was our little Sesame Street segment. Our letter of the day is F. Do you know what we say with F? Fuck you, GameStop.
Fuck you, GameStop. And your fucking CEO who's being investigated for insider trading.
How? I don't understand. This is there's going to be 3 things that survive the apocalypse: cockroaches, Twinkies, and GameStop. How does this keep happening?
Well, I don't know.
How has Amazon just not killed them?
I don't know. When you trap your employees in the storage, like during the pandemic, I mean, I don't know. You could do pretty much anything. Did you see that they actually yeeted like their social media accounts too? So literally, like,
yes,
and they were like mid-issue for like the I guess
70% done. 70% done with the next issue. Jesus. So
I supervisors. That's hilarious.
There's only one thing in that list that I actually don't mind.
Yes, cockroaches.
Hey,
Well, I mean, I was gonna say Twinkies.
No, cockroaches are actually cute. Like the little hissing ones, they're actually really cute. They have like the little colors, and they make like a little hissing sound, and they're actually like weird and like fluffy.
You know who else is a cockroach? GameStop.
GameStop. I thought you were going to say David Zasloff.
Yeah, I mean him too. But, you know,
Yeah,
both. Okay, so here's the thing, okay? So they released that. So, first of all, the website's a landing page, and that's all it is now.
Yep.
All the archive is all gone. All the people who have worked on that magazine, they have no work on their magazine. There's no YouTube channel. There's no Twitter account anymore. And the thing of it is that they put out that statement, that final statement, the final level, whatever the fuck. And it said that, like, you know, it had all that bullshit where one of the former editors over there at Game Informer said that it was more than likely written by AI, and I could see that completely happening.
It was bad.
So apparently, what had happened was one of the staffers took over the Twitter, and basically said that, you know, released a more human statement, put up screenshots of the masthead from the next issue that they were working on, and said if anybody can hire these people because they are in need of work, so please support them. And then of course what happens is GameStop gets on there and nukes the Twitter, because they're like, okay, people now see this for what it is, which is bullshit. And the thing that I heard that also really upset me today was just the fact that they nuked the website entirely so that they can save on fucking domain fees.
Yeah.
Are you fucking
This is
kidding me?
bullshit of the highest
yeah.
order.
Yeah,
all,
high
Mike.
grade fucking bullshit.
Yep.
33 years this magazine has been in business, since 1991. It outlasted pretty much every other magazine in the U.S. marketplace, at the very least, and some around the world as well. Edge is still
entire
going,
life.
which God knows how the hell Edge is going to survive through this. I mean, I'm a huge proponent and a huge fan of video game magazines because that's what I grew up with. So, like, Game Informer was perhaps never my absolute favorite one, but they always did good work.
Yeah.
And, like, you can tell that they were fans. You can tell that they were lifelong. You know, it was good to see, you know, the note from Andy McNamara, who was the longtime editor-in-chief pretty much from the beginning almost of that magazine, who said that, like, you know, this is a really sad day. I mean, what else are you going to say? This is some bullshit, is all I can tell you. And I'm going to rant about it more in the next arcade podcast, but it's just like, this is... I don't even know. I don't have any words to say. All I can tell you is that there are people like on MinMax and like on the, you know, like retromags.com. They're like trying to preserve what Game Informer was and trying to preserve the issues and everything like that. And I'm so happy that they are.
All right, before we move on, I just want to show you, you know, what has more value than stupid David Zaslav's. All right, I'm just trying to find these cute little buggers. There we go.
Indeed.
I mean, look at that sweet boy. Just look at him, and also, I mean, come on.
Also more value than the GameStop CEO too.
No, hey, you know, these little guys live like for like 3 to 5 years. They're cute little bugs, and they have more value to this earth than any of these motherfucking CEOs. So there's an
Yes, they
analogy
do.
there.
Yep.
All right. Now, speaking of the gaming industry still being great, video game voice actors are going on strike. The guild has began striking on Friday, July 26th, preventing 160,000 SAG-AFTRA members from taking new video game works and impending games already in development from the biggest publishers, the smallest to indies. Negotiations broke down due to disagreements over workers' protection around AI. And before we get into the next part of it, also, I don't remember what day this was, but the No Fakes Act was introduced into U.S. Senate today. The bill gives all American property right owners property rights over their voice, image, name, likeness, and is a huge, important step forward in the fight against ethical use of AI. Pay your fucking actors!
Yes,
Exactly.
pay your actors. Jesus.
Almost
How hard
every
is that
video
to figure
game
out?
now doesn't just do voice acting. You're literally mocapping in 99% of the
Yes.
situations.
Did you see what they're asking for? They're asking for breaks.
Yeah.
Like mandatory breaks and like having somebody
Basic
on
shit.
staff who's like medically trained to be
Yeah.
on staff and to be watching people when they're doing like, stunt work or whatever you have for the video
Yeah.
games. It's
Normal
ridiculous.
shit.
Normal stuff.
Like any other like set, on Earth, like that'd be like a bare minimum. Like if you're an extra
Bare
or
minimum.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the video game industry makes so much fucking money.
So much fucking money.
Billions.
It somehow makes more than movies, which we're going to get into someone's salary later on that I'm going to have a fucking rant about. But yeah,
Oh boy.
just the amount of money they make, and we don't have a medical person regularly.
Yeah, what the hell is that about?
Greed.
Like- It's unfucking real. But yeah, just go on strike, it's fine. And I guess what? I'm one of those people that if you are watching this and you are upset that people are going on strike, stop watching my channel.
Yeah.
And you know what? Any of the good
I don't
companies
care.
worth their salt, like several of them already have like interim agreements. So
Yes.
hey, if you're not a piece of shit, sign the agreement, and then this can end.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wish you a very happy you lose all the money in the world because you won't pay your talents. You try to cut people off. You won't let gaming companies unionize. So honestly, yeah, very happy you don't get your third yacht. I'm not gonna cry for you, Argentina.
Yeah, no, I'm not. All right, we're done with gaming news now. Now we're gonna go into what I feel is probably going to be the most rant-filled episode of this podcast in a while. And I'm going to start with something that Mike had to bring up Rebel Moon, so I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant. We're going to talk about Snyderverse fanboys for a while and his entire marketing ploy that makes me want to bash my head through a brick fucking wall.
And while you're
Okay.
doing this, I'm also going to throw many middle fingers at Netflix for encouraging this.
Yep. Okay. So every single Zack Snyder movie that has been made in DC is magically better when it gets a Snyder cut. I'm sorry. If your movie has to be 4 hours long to be a complete movie, you didn't need to make the movie. No movie needs to be 4 hours long with an extra added hour of dialogue and all this shit to miss the connecting parts of the original movie. And it doesn't need to be a selling point for an entire movie to bring all these people back that, oh, hey, we're using his name, and that's it. We're not going to actually let him do anything else. We're just going to use his name to bring people back because it's the Snyder Cut. We know you fucking cultists, because I'm sorry, that's what 99% of you are, will come back and throw money in his face, but yet you'll only support him if it's a DC movie. If it's anything else, you don't give a shit because you saw one movie that was edgelordy as fuck where Batman set someone on fire with a flamethrower and you thought, that guy knows comic accuracy. That dude there, I want him doing everything. That's wonderful. Anyway, so then Netflix gives Zack Snyder full diplomatic immunity to make this fucking movie however he wants. It's not immediately rated R. Stupid. Stupid. It's a streaming service. What are we fucking doing here? Make it rated R. It's up to you if your kids sign into it. And then second, there's a director's cut. He had no fucking directorial oversight in the first place. Why the fuck is there a director's cut? He was the one that edited it. It was him saying I didn't do good enough the first time. Why does it need a fucking director's cut? Make it 5 hours the first fucking time. What are we actually doing?
When James Cameron movies just seem like a breeze in comparison, and look, I'm not gonna defend Snyder, but when the Justice League movies were originally greenlit as like a two-parter, the Snyder Cut to me is like, okay, what if we just put those two movies like back to back? So I kind of get why it is the way that it is. But
It didn't even though. It made part 1 4 hours long.
that
And
being
get part 2.
That being said, I mean, look, I have no horse in this race. I'm like I'll be honest, I've never really been a fan of Zack Snyder's work. Like, I don't hate the guy. I have nothing against the guy. It's just, I'm like, not for me. And you know what? That's fine. But oh my God, like the Snyder Cut people, it's just like the really like hardcore ones that just haven't touched grass in years, are completely basement dwellers, probably haven't seen light either. It's just such an ungodly smell, like it's just unfathomable, like the literal definition of hell. But I know I'm evil. It just, they're like, they diss, DC went in a different direction because, let's just be honest, DC and Snyder was just never a good match to begin with. Even if you like Man of Steel as films, I'm just, with the creative directions, it's obvious, like, every movie that I've seen, like, it's two different movies, like, competing for each other. Even, like, some of the better ones, like Wonder Woman, like, it's obvious that, there's, like, two different, visions trying to, like, scratch to, like, reach the surface before it runs out of oxygen. So, I feel like it's just a divorce that needed to happen because it wasn't working. Like, you could try to gaslight yourself and everyone else into thinking, like, Zack Snyder's this, misunderstood genius. It was just not a good idea because, let's be real, like, WB's, mindset was, oh, we have to catch up to Marvel, and that's why those movies are the way that they are. Going to, like, Rebel Moon, I'm like, everything about it just kind of just rips off as just, like, more, like, edgy, like, Star Wars. Like, this is what people think the EU actually was, not in reality what it is. And that's the whole thing. Like, I don't know what was going on behind the scenes with, like, the editing process, but first of all, why did this need a director's cut? Second of all, I'm like, Netflix, doing Netflix things doesn't promote it. So I'm like, what are we even doing here?
I don't know. Mike, I think you're the only person I know that liked this movie. Tell me, why? Why did they do this? Tell me. Explain it to me. Dad, I'm listening. I'm fingers crossed. It's story time. Tell me. Why?
Explain it to us like we're all 5.
You guys can read my thoughts on Rebel Moon chapters 1 and 2 on Letterboxd. But as far as what the hell Netflix was doing here, I don't know if I have the full story. You'll have to ask people who went to the event that Snyder hosted in LA this past weekend. All I can really speculate on is Netflix had dollar signs in their eyes. They saw, like, how much fan excitement there was over the Snyder cut of Justice League, and they're like, yeah, we want to do that. We want to artificially create that hype.
But here's the thing too.
Here's the thing.
I just keep it in a second. But here's the thing: the Snyder Cut actually lost movie for money for HBO Max. Like, they didn't actually gain subscribers.
Also, Netflix, the people that watch Rebel Moon were already fucking there. What do you gain for the director's cut money-wise?
Exactly.
I'm adding 2 + 2 and getting applesauce. What the fuck are we actually doing? I'm so fucking confused. I'm so fucking confused. I get different everythings. Other stuff is whatever, and it just, you can't.
Brock, you need to watch Seven Samurai.
I've watched Seven Samurai.
Okay. It's a great movie.
And here's the thing. Everyone, guess what? I liked Man of Steel. Man of Steel was great. Guess what? WB didn't want to do it. And guess what? That's because they didn't want to do it. Justice League was okay. And the difference was, in all of this, and as Umbreon, I'm seeing your things, Zack Snyder didn't want to make a thing WB wanted to do, and he wanted to make his own set of movies and go and end. WB didn't. It was two companies working two different goals and two different things, and every movie has a unique voice. That's how they happen. It's another thing with where it's only unique if Zack Snyder does it. I'm sorry, I see more similarity between every single Zack Snyder movie than I do with the people complaining that every single Marvel movie is the same.
And here's the thing: the most
I'm gonna be really fucking honest with you.
Here's the thing, like
that's pretty
with
fair.
and here's the thing too, like especially with like Eternals, which obviously has like Snyder inspirations. The director said as much. Y'all didn't fucking watch.
Yeah.
Yep. It didn't.
One more thing I'll say before we move on to other rants, because I'm sure there will be more. There are certain levels of Zack Snyder fans. There are people like me and plenty others who are just fans of his movies. Then there's the
It's a cult. It's a cult.
I call it the mutation, which is the Snyder cult, which only cares about Zack Snyder directed DC movies and literally nothing else.
Yes, because you know what? When you go up to this one's my favorite. You know what happens when you go up to one of them and mention Sucker Punch? They go, huh?
Exactly.
Oh, I thought he was your great golden god, sent down from the highest mount, Prometheus, with the fire given to humans. Oh, he made a bad movie? Wait, he's not perfect and does everything exactly how I want, as edgelordy as fuck as we need in most cases? No, he actually makes movies certain ways that you don't like. And guess what he wants to do with Sucker Punch? Remake it and make a director's cut. Because now it can be fixed. And I'm someone who likes Sucker Punch.
He directed a PG animated movie. Mentioned that to them.
Legend of the Guardians.
Yeah.
The cute little owl movie.
The Owls of Gahul.
Yes.
And was to get the
no one
band
thinks about
Owl
that.
City to sing the montage song.
Marketing.
Like that's what you should do. Anytime you mention Zack Snyder, just play the Owl City track, saying,
But it's like,
"Is this your king?"
but it's like, he can make good stuff. It's just that, just because one person made a thing one way you want it, that doesn't make it every single way you want it. Guess what? I saw Kingsman. That doesn't mean every single movie I want to be made by Matthew Vaughn.
No.
It doesn't. The world just doesn't freaking work that way. And everyone's like, it'll be unique. It'll be different in every movie if the same exact director does it every time.
Yeah, that's very not how this works.
And it really just shows that they don't care about like cinema or movies, you know. And these are like the same people that are like complaining that Marvel's like producing slop, you know, which to a degree, you know, I think there is an argument to be made that some of Marvel's recent output has not, you know, been their best.
It's not been good. Has not been good.
No, it has not been 10 out of 10 bangers. But, yeah, like, you're acting like the DC movies were good, too. I'm like, no, that's just not what happens. Like, not in any reality. I saw Suicide Squad opening day, and I only paid $2 to see it for, like, a freaking, like, T-Mobile ticket. And that was definitely a movie that I watched.
Like, everyone that gets mad about, I know Kiona liked that movie, but everyone gets mad about Marvel not doing characters the way they want. Hey, Mike, I guarantee you and me saw Marvel do a character assassination of a beloved DC comic character that you, me, and Kiona all love to death more than anything in a DC movie that I loved. The Harley Quinn movie, the Birds of Prey movie, that being Cassandra Cain is literal dog shit.
Yeah.
Still love that movie.
Love that movie, but
Yeah.
we couldn't think of a character of this ethnicity. What if we call her Cassandra Cain? Is she mute? Does she have parents who are assassins that trained her to lead body language? No. She's gonna have a cast
She's
and
a
eat egg
pickpocket.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
What are we even... Like, anyone that complains about any version of a Marvel character that think it's worse than that? Get over yourself. That was terrible. And I love that movie. That scene where Harley gets tranquilized and she's like stabbing that dude on the couch is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And it has some of the best violent action scenes in it, too.
Oh, yeah.
When Harley wedges that guy's arm in the freaking window of the Expedition and breaks his elbow backwards with that bat, that was awesome. Anyway, John, I was cutting you off.
The only 2 cents that I can offer for all of this is that, you know, what Snyder did with the DC universe, I was not entirely against. Like Brock said, I didn't hate the Suicide Squad movie, the first one, as much as a lot of other people did, and mainly because it was nice to see those characters. I have my reasons, but it wasn't like, it's not a great movie by any means. You know, it's kind of it's a guilty pleasure, if anything. But
that
it's
is
like
one I want a director's cut of. That
yeah,
one.
exactly, and it wasn't directed by Zack Snyder. But anyway, I mean, like the thing of it is that I don't mind what he was trying to do. Like, I could see what he was attempting to do there. He was attempting to make it a counterpoint to what Marvel was doing, which is fine. But the thing of it was that he did not fundamentally understand those characters, I don't think. And you can see it in his earlier work, like in Watchmen. You can tell that he's not interested in telling us a straightforward, like, superhero film. So I don't think that's really what he wanted, and I think, like, with Man of Steel it worked, and with other films it didn't. And I think his director's cut of Justice League is better than the Joss cut.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, I mean,
By
at
far.
least that's watchable.
But
Anyone who
like,
says
yeah,
otherwise
but
is lying.
yeah, but the thing of it is that, like, you know, I think he had his chance, and now it's time to move on. And what they're doing with Rebel Moon, and just sort of continuing with this whole thing of, like, oh, it's a Snyder cut, you know, it is a marketing ploy. That's entirely what it is. And they announced it even before the movie came out, like the original cut came out. And I find Rebel Moon, like, the first one, I couldn't even get through the first one. It was just not my thing. I usually like his movies, but you know,
I will say this: the PG-13 version of Rebel Moon, I totally understand if you don't like that one.
Yeah.
The director's cut is, I hate to say it, but it is the definitive version of that movie.
Then just release the director's cut.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Then just release that. Why put us through that whole thing? Because they want to get more viewership. Because they want, it's a marketing ploy. That's entirely what it is.
I mentioned this in the Christmas reunion that we did. The only reason why you would have like an R-rated version, a PG-13 version of this movie is like Rebel Moon, is if one was for younger kids and the other was for adults. But then, as Brock mentioned it, like the parents, like the parent logs on these streaming services are for like G and PG movies. They only have like those rated movies on it, so you can't have a PG-13 movie on, you know, kids' accounts.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So the point is moot for having different versions if the less age appropriate one. If you're gonna have a less like adult version of the movie and have it still be PG-13, then what are we doing?
Yeah, it's not necessary. I mean, like, either, you know, the smart thing to do to be actually parent your children, but I guess for some people that's too much.
No, what they're gonna do is stick the iPad in front of them, and that's the problem. It's on the iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Oh my, just grind. Like, I forgot about that, and I also forgot that they announced it with the original movie before it came out. That is like video games going, by the way, we're making DLC that we're going to keep out of the main game that you'll pay for later.
It's day one DLC.
Yeah, it's so bad. Oh, I hate it. All right, anyway, we'll do this first because it'll give the DC done, and then we'll just basically end with Marvel. Okay, I just finished watching Cape Crusader literally before we started this podcast.
Oh, good, a positive thing.
Yeah, a positive thing. The rest of this is positive. We're good. I liked it. I will say the only thing that I actively disliked is this the guy who's voicing Batman's first time doing an animated voice acting feature?
I think it is.
Because I don't think he quite had the knack for the cadence in certain things. That's like my legit
No.
only complaint. I didn't mind the actual voice that he was trying to pull off, but it felt like the cadence and how he spoke was very, very off a lot of the time.
Well, I feel like a lot of it too is, it's different
Direction?
vibes because, Andrea Romano has long since like retired from the industry, and it just definitely like doesn't have like the same vibes. Like I know it's not trying to be Batman the Animated Series. I've been busy. I still haven't watched it, but I see the people that I hate the most get upset about it. So I'm like, oh, there must be something of value there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But like that is true. But like the thing that I'm getting at is I didn't have that problem with literally the entire rest of the cast.
Did you feel like they were trying to sort of match Kevin Conroy in some ways, like in terms of the tone
little.
of voice?
And
did you feel like
he couldn't match that pitch that would work with that tone?
Yeah. Did you feel like did it kind of take you out of it and make you feel like, okay, this is almost a poor man's Kevin Conroy? And I don't mean that as a knock against Hamish Linklater. It's just that
No. It felt like
I
he was
just
trying to imitate it, and that's something
Yeah.
you can't do. Even if you were good at imitating it, I have almost 30 years of that exact voice and cadence in my brain. And that's not me saying that you literally can't have a Batman without Kevin voicing it. I've said multiple times that I want Bruce Greenwood to permanently take over as Batman.
Bruce
because
Greenwood?
he's great.
Jensen
Greenwood's
Ackles,
awesome.
Jason O'Mara. I like them. I like them. I
And
think they
all
do
of
good.
them
Roger
talk
Craig Smith.
completely differently.
Yeah.
This just
Reno
one
Romano
where
was a great Batman.
Yeah, this one sounded off, and it was so weird because everyone else sounded amazing. It wasn't his voice.
I will say
There's just
this.
nothing about him that set him apart from other Batman voice actors. I'm just gonna say that. There's nothing that set him apart. He was just it just felt like a voice actor for hire, in my opinion. It wasn't anything just or anything. Anyway, go on, Mike.
In the first two episodes, I did have to sort of adjust to Linklater's performance because while he's great in Midnight Mass, like genuinely that's like an amazing performance. I can tell he's he's green as a voice actor, whereas most of the pretty much the rest of the cast they've done voices.
Yeah, Jamie Chung's done quite a bit of voice acting before this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you got also John DiMaggio, Gray Griffin.
Jeff
Barry
Bennett.
Lowenthal plays 4 random characters in different episodes. There's a bunch of people that are in here as randoms.
My man Tom Kenny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Jamie Chung was really, really good.
Oh yes, she did a terrific job with her version of Harley Quinn. But
that version of Harley Quinn was just amazing. Period. By the way.
Yes.
Yeah. At first, I was
scared
like,
to death about that.
It took me a while to warm up to her, but as soon as when she did the actual Harley voice and everything, I was like, you know what? That's good. Good casting.
She sold me from
good design.
Go ahead.
She sold me when we were seeing what she was doing to her patients, having the guy go through that line of Christmas lights trying to look for a bad bulb.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was great. It's maybe I'm the bad bulb. No, I promise you, there's one in there. The idea of having Harley first was weird, but I oddly love it. She's just her own independent kind of freak show. And also, I didn't know what I was going to think of that Harley design once I saw it in action. It looks creepy as fuck, and I love it.
The design plus the voice is it really just gets right under your skin.
I like also that she has a prior relationship with Barbara and with and then with Montoya eventually. But yeah,
I didn't mind the thing with Montoya either.
I did not. No, it establishes the characters.
Yeah. It was surprising only not because of the relationship, but it was just surprising because of that pairing, not necessarily the relationship.
I know everyone's acting. I'm like, hasn't Montoya been a lesbian in the comics for like 2 decades.
Yes.
So she has it, just not
Yeah,
with,
she
just
was
not
in the
with
comic.
Harley.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, at this point, I mean, you just pair anyone with Harley because because they don't know how to write queer characters, I guess. So
No,
I
no,
didn't
no. They do. Their editors hate it.
Yes.
I didn't
And,
know that
um,
she was from the comics. I just assumed that she
Yeah.
was like, huh.
Yeah,
And she's been gay
unfortunately the
since the
question.
beginning.
I don't know if the beginning.
I don't think from the beginning. It was Greg Rucka who also wrote one of the episodes this season who established her as being gay.
When Monica and Harley, when they like kissed, her name is Monica, right?
Montoya.
Montoya, sorry.
Renee Montoya. Yeah.
Renee
Renee Montoya. That just tells you how much I know. The second,
No, you're good, man.
You're
the
good.
second that she and Harley kiss in the middle of the restaurant, that just kind of confirmed to me that this wasn't actually supposed to take place in the 40s, but just like something like kind of our present day that just never really got past the 40s.
I mean, it's an Elseworlds thing. Like, I don't know why people are like getting all set up. I'm like, it's fucking Elseworlds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The one thing I'm waiting on, and I didn't quite get this, like, I had someone make a comment about a thing that fucking I love you, Bruce Timm, but there's one thing that you love that I don't. And I got told that thing comes out full force in this show, and I saw 0.5% of it, but not as much as what people told me were going to be in it. For those that don't know what I'm talking about, oh boy, does he love putting Barbara Gordon and Batman together as a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand
And
that.
I don't like it.
I don't understand that.
It's been in the comics. It's been in the freaking Batman Beyond. It was in freaking that live action version of that comic. Nope. They added a random thing in front of it. That was what this was. Killing Joke.
Yeah.
Killing
Joke.
Joke.
Yeah.
Killing
Animated
Joke.
version.
Yeah. Where they added the random intro that literally only just showed
Oh,
that, hey,
God.
Barbara
Yeah.
and Batman fucked once and she has a gay friend from college. Like, that's all the intro did. And then they just did the comic verbatim.
There's another movie where there's a line implying that they had a thing, Mystery of the Batwoman.
Mystery of the Batwoman.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
Yeah,
It's been a
when,
minute since I saw that.
He calls her on the phone.
Yeah. And like that comic book panel where he's like, Bruce, I'm pregnant. I'll congratulate Dick. He's like, it's not his. And then you just see stone face wall. I'm like, God damn it, Bruce Timm.
I really don't understand that. I don't know what.
I don't know.
It's his OTP. Like, he's
His
literally.
OTP is metaphorical incest?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's on his AO3 account writing Barbara and Bruce fanfics all day.
But it's not AO3 though. He's writing it in the canon. He's just skipping AO3 altogether.
I
It's
tell you, he
so
probably has an
bizarre.
alias on AO3. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
would.
Bruce Timm.
I'm Bruce Timm. No one believes me.
Yeah, I keep saying I'm Bruce Timm. I'm even in the credits of but like I never saw it. Like, it's two people interacting. They never she saved
Yeah.
him because
I
like
never
it's a friend
saw
with her
that.
dad.
I
was
mean,
like- I was
Twitter's
very
always over dramatic when it comes to like shipping bullshit.
That's
If anything, there's a bit of like hero worship for Babs. At first when she
Yeah.
first meets Bruce, and when she first meets
Yeah.
Batman, I should say, beyond Bruce. But like, yeah, I don't understand why he's so fixated on that pairing. It's
You have so
just
many
fucking
other
weird to me.
You have
He needs
so many
therapy.
other people that both Bruce and Babs can have the horizontal mambo with, but he just refuses to let them. Like, in this show, you have Catwoman, voiced by Christina Ricci, which is not a combo
Yeah.
I thought I needed in my life,
Oh,
And yet-
oh no, you do.
but I did. Oh boy, was this version of Catwoman amazing. And they
Yes.
pulled off the old
Very
school
cool.
cat outfit, but, oh, Oh,
What was her?
wonderful.
What was the
Agatha? Was that her name? Like no,
Griselda or something? I forget.
What was her maid's name? Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know. But oh, it was great. Like that
Oh,
whole
yeah, she was
runs
fantastic.
off. She runs off with her money.
With all her money.
That was
I mean, I just-
fantastic.
You know something though. It was so good to see like Greg Rucka writing an episode of this. It was so good to see Ed Brubaker as one of the executive producers of this show. I mean, I
he's
think
the
that's
head-
awesome.
the
They
head
they
writer.
shouted out Michael Lark by having Lark Avenue in the show.
Speaking of shout outs, they just said Carnival episode.
So many shout
All the adopted kids
All
are
the
former
Robins, except for 2.
I was like, they just like, oh, it's Steffi Brown. I'm like, ha 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 ha.
I'm
They're gonna
like-
say one, and then Carrie, and then, oh, that's so funny, Jason. I'm like, that kid is literally, and then the other one is just the kid version of Dick Grayson
Dick
from
Grayson.
the animated series.
Yes,
Yep.
yes, totally. I was like, wait, Dickie, Jace, this is okay. And then I was like, are they gonna do Stephanie and Cassandra and Tim? And they didn't do Cassandra. And Tim.
I'm like, they literally had orphans assemble. We're gonna go be Robins.
Yeah, literally,
Like, what are we-
literally. And Leslie
This all-
Tompkins also was in there. I mean, like,
Leslie was fantastic. You know what? A version of that does not get enough credit. Marina Baccarin's in Gotham.
oh, true.
She was
True.
very good. All those characters were well
I even
cast.
forgot
Just
about
the
that,
writing
honestly.
later on was very, very, very good.
Not a great show, unfortunately.
You know what? I wanted to happen so bad. At the end of that show, you know how like someone gets presented with the bat suit. I wanted just like what like I don't know who would have been the head person to hand it to him, but just a box and it opens up and it's the mustache to hand to Gordon. Because he didn't have it, you know. So I just wanted that to be like, here, kid, here's your cape.
Oh my god, that would have been amazing, honestly.
Instead, we got
There's like a lightning strike behind him, and all you see is this Gordon and his mustache flowing in the wind.
instead we got possibly the fucking worst bat suit I've ever.
Oh my
seen.
god, the worst.
I've seen Party City costumes better looking than that.
Oh, it's terrible. That's worse than any cosplayer I've ever seen in the Batman costume.
It was so
Getting
bad.
back to a good Batman story,
Yeah.
I think this might be the best version of Two-Face I've ever seen.
It's really good.
It's really good. Yeah.
And the best part is they spent the entire 10
Series.
episodes like
Building
the
up.
The first half is pretty like episodic. It's really
Yeah.
just like the villain of the week, but in the background, you have a great version of Harvey Dent, voiced by Diedrich Bader.
Yes. Himself.
I didn't even
former
realize that was him.
animated Batman.
Yeah. Yep.
I have a real
And-
10 ear, I guess.
It's all good. He was doing good voice acting.
He was doing a different kind of voice though, yeah. So it wasn't like, oh, there's Diedrich Bader, voice of Batman. No, he was doing something
It was like a mix
completely
between
different.
James Woods and Mark Hamill, I thought.
I could hear that, yeah.
He did
Um,
kind of have that slimy James Woods personality where
He did.
even though he is on the side of justice, he also acted
Yeah.
pretty two-faced too, which is kind of
Yeah.
which is a nice subtle way to like foreshadow his turn to like the monster.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I
and-
liked his design. I liked the mangled face. And did you notice it was on the right side? That's an interesting like that.
Yeah.
I was like, that had to have been a deliberate change because it's usually on his left.
Usually. But
So
yeah,
that's
that
an
was,
interesting-
It was interesting how they also like just made it. It's one of the only versions where the scarred side didn't have a distinct color to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of how Aaron Eckhart looked in The Dark Knight, where it's not like they were going
It's
for a
not
little bit more of a
cartoony.
realistic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did love though when he drinks the scotch and it falls out of the side of his face. That was a great touch.
You think this would be like in The Dark Knight, but for some reason we still don't have a version of Toothpaste where he talks like he actually has half his lips burned, like because he he should talk like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
'Cause
pinching like my mouth right now.
That is the exact reason why we will never get it, because I would blow my brains out listening to Harvey Dent talk like that all day long.
We tried to be decent men in an indecent time.
You know what he sounds like? The Bane version of Harvey Dent. We try to be basic men. We try to do things better in Gotham. That's what. Yeah. No, we don't need that.
You know what's amazing about that? Because now we're like more than like a decade out from that.
Did you miss something for a while, Umbreon?
Is that
Hey, crap.
you know they made it like it's a a whole thing to cover up bad mixing. Because Christopher Nolan just doesn't know how to fucking mix audio for some inexplicable reason. And his movie's like, like dialogue's like,
He is bad, but I'm going to be really honest with you. That, in my opinion, has become worse with movies, period, as the years go on.
Yeah, it really.
no, it has.
It's god awful.
No, that's why one of the things I liked about like X-Men '97 is like, wait, an actual competent audio mix? Everything's mixed correctly?
No.
What is this?
No, we're not hating on.
We're not hating on
Eckhart's
Eckhart's Two-Face. Absolutely
no, we're
not.
saying we were talking about colors of the face and different stuff. And he was talking about, and Jacob mentioned that you get a Two-Face that would talk as if half their face was melted, and that's what we mentioned that. No, we weren't. Eckhart's Two-Face was great. He's the best villain in that movie, in my opinion, but that'll be opinion I'm hated on for later. Anyway, I really like the ending, and I love how... Oh boy, people thought they were really fucking clever on Twitter today.
Are you talking about the screenshot of Batman with a gun?
Yeah. They're like, any of y'all not gonna get mad about this? I'm like, I'm not gonna get mad about Batman doing what he would do if he was ever given a gun, not use it and angrily throw it away.
My response was, oh great, my favorite genre of tweet. Blatant
lie.
When I read that tweet, when I read that tweet, I gotta admit, I thought the reason why was because this is supposed to be 40s Batman, and 40s Batman killed people all the time, and that's what you were responding to. But then I found out that he shot at a round flask 5 times without actually what the fuck?
No, it wasn't even that, Jacob. It was just the fact that he was holding a gun.
I thought people just I thought whoever posted that just assumed that Batman killed with that gun.
No, it was just the fact that he was holding a gun, and that was it. Worst version of Batman ever, because he held a gun.
And he's not made by Zack Snyder.
Did anybody see Batman versus Superman?
And he's not roasting someone alive with a flamethrower. I get it, but that's one version of Batman that was purposely... They based it off a version of Batman who was purposely made to show people how Batman doesn't act. That was the point of that comic. Did we all of a sudden lose track of, media literacy all of a sudden? But... yeah, no, I loved that he shot all the way around him, and it was just I hate these fucking things, and then threw it. He purposely
that moment was
That was a scare tactic.
And not only that, it was because he saw Harvey get shot, and he was pissed off. He was pissed off, he was angry. He grabbed the guy's gun, he grabbed Flass's gun, and he aimed it at him, and he shot around his head. I mean, that's... yeah.
Oh, that's another.
It made sense within the moment in context.
Yeah,
that's another thing I like about this. They really go into just how dirty the Gotham police force is, except for Gordon and Montoya.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really did up Bullock in this one. Holy shit.
Oh my god, Bullock in this is supremely dirty. There's always been a question, is Bullock dirty? Is he a dirty cop? And he's never been really portrayed as one, except in Officer Down in the comics, and except in this.
Yeah.
In Officer Down, he does something pretty messed up.
How's it taking us this long to get John DiMaggio to play him? Seriously.
Oh, I know.
He was born to play that role.
He was good.
I'm not sure I love the mustache design. I'm not sure I love that.
No
But
design's gonna be
it's
better
okay.
than the one from the animated series. Just
No,
because-
you're not. They perfected it the first try. They nailed it.
Yeah, so I guess just to differentiate them a little bit, but man, oh man.
Yeah. And I like
Horrible.
actually if they actually do go through with keeping Two-Face dead, that's ballsy.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
And I also I have to say this. And this is not because I don't like the character. Everyone gets misconstrued when I say this. I was very happy that we got an entire season of a Batman show, sans post-credit scene, without the Joker.
Agreed.
Yes.
We got some
was,
of the
It was
best.
a very good decision.
We got some of the best random episodes with characters you'd never normally get.
Mm-hmm.
We got to have a supernatural episode where he fought a ghost.
Yeah.
I love that episode, by the way.
It was fantastic.
I love that
Gentleman
episode.
Ghost is awesome.
Gentleman Ghost is great.
Gentleman
What a
Ghost was
great villain.
fantastic.
Also,
And
Yeah, and also, can we talk about the Galaxy Brain choice of having Minnie Driver be the Penguin?
Okay. that's-
yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Here's one thing that irritates me.
Okay.
Not the fact that they made the Penguin a female. I hate the fact that they didn't let Minnie Driver have that personality as her own new character.
okay.
Because
No, yeah, I see where you're coming from
Because
with
that to me wasn't the Penguin, and not because she was tall and a female. All you stupid, bigoted morons, shut up. She played an amazing character that I'm like, that's awesome. I wish they made a new character around her that competed with the Penguin. But that version of the Penguin was awesome.
Who's the matriarch of the Falcone family?
I don't know.
She
Oh,
could,
the
she could've-
matriarch?
Yeah, or maybe it's Carmine's daughter.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But you know who I'm thinking of, right?
Yeah, I know.
Like
who
the
you're
one that they
thinking
had in the Long Halloween.
Yes.
of. But yeah, no, that still that version of her was great. That just made me think. I'm like, give her her own thing with that personality and run, because it'd be awesome.
But that being said, I did like Minnie Driver as the Penguin.
I did too. Yeah.
Rock hates women.
I thought that was
Brr.
really interesting.
What? I'm Brian, shut up.
I was gonna say too,
Sophia. That's-
Sophia. That was it. I was gonna say too that in the Gentleman Ghost episode, Linton Midnight. Interesting.
Yeah, Papa Midnight.
Yes,
Interesting that they brought in Papa Midnight for that.
that was.
I really liked
know-
the voice too, and I liked the fact that they kind of leave it open as to what he's gonna do. Like, I want to see more supernatural elements in this. I think
Yeah.
that's an interesting.
Speaking
I want
of,
them to be okay with John
supernatural
Constantine
characters.
being in there.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna bring up Constantine, but also, did you notice that one of the cops that was tagging along with
Yes,
with
Jim
the
Corrigan.
Gordons was Jim Corrigan.
Yep, the Spectre. Yes,
I was like, man, is something gonna happen to him?
that's an element
Boy.
that they brought in. I'm sure Brubaker and maybe Rucka too had an idea for this to bring in Jim Corrigan, because they actually did that in Gotham Central as well in the comics.
Yeah, that could be interesting.
Also,
As a
something
dirty
I-
cop,
something
same
I-
thing.
Something I just realized: the Gentleman Ghost is a Green Lantern villain.
Yeah, Hawkman villain. Yeah, Green Lantern Hawkman. Yeah.
So I wonder if we'll see like a version of Alan Scott in this universe.
Maybe. Be interesting.
Would be interesting. It would be cool to see the older like him, Jay Garrick. Like, it'd be cool to have the old school Justice League.
Yeah.
Like one-off stuff. If you were ever gonna do that, that would be interesting. Like, I wonder honestly if we're going to get Batgirl through the original version of how the character got their costume.
Ooh. Yeah.
Like her dressing up as it for a party and like just going
Yeah.
That's
would
That'd be a-
that's plausible.
They could do a year
That was
one
so-
kind of a thing and have Killer Moth in there as like the villain.
They could. We had Firebug already.
We had Firebug. Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. We could have a lot
Very.
of things.
Also, I love how they made a joke how, they made a joke referencing how Batman has two fire-themed villains, Firefly and Firebug.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Gotcha.
That's what happens like when you have a character who's running for over like 80 minutes, for 80 years, I should say. Like, it's bound to happen because I think there were like a bunch of different villains like in DC Comics before like Mr. Freeze. With an ice theme.
Well,
Ice
that's
theme,
what happens
yeah.
with every character. It was, hey, Mr. Freeze looked really good for Batman. Flash gets Captain Cold. It happens a lot. They're just like, what do we need? We'll get the 4 elements covered, and then we'll move on from there. What about a sharpshooter? What about a fast guy?
Also, Onomatopoeia.
Yes.
Yeah.
Interesting villain that they
was
brought in
not
for that.
expecting to see that.
I was not
whatsoever.
expecting that. And even the
And-
costume kind of fooled me. I didn't know who he was for a while.
Did they
And
actually
that-
say
and
that
that
that was
he-
his
and that he was
name?
paired with
That is
No,
his
we
name.
could-
Yeah, it's
That is his
Onomatopoeia.
name. I don't think he said it, but that
I
is his
didn't
name.
know that. I didn't.
That was
Yeah.
a Kevin Smith creation, I believe.
Yep.
I think so.
I thought that was a reference to like the Adam West Batman series.
No.
It is.
No.
It is a reference. It
well,
is.
Well, yes,
Well,
but
in
yeah,
the
it's-
comics,
on
Kevin
multiple
Smith
levels.
created a character who was
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was, but yeah, that was just like, they are bringing in such a hodgepodge of characters for this show, and I'm like, hey, I'm all for it. Do some weird stuff. Like,
Sorry about that. God decided to intervene because my takes were getting too spicy.
God.
But there's actually like a raging thunderstorm outside.
Oh, jeez.
So
yikes. All right. Anyone else have any final thoughts on? Hey, who voiced, or I should say, laughed at the end as the Joker? Do we know who's voicing him?
No.
as of now, no. That was
Okay.
an
Don't know.
uncredited voice actor.
It was a lot deeper than what the
Yeah.
Joker normally is.
Yeah,
I
very.
think they're going for the very early version of the Joker, who is just like a extreme psychopath.
Can you imagine if they adapt or like bring in, instead of him having Harley as his sidekick, it's Punchline?
Punchline? I wonder.
I mean, they're already kind of.
I mean, that'd be a good idea because have we had like a major animated adaptation that has had punchline in there?
I don't think
No,
so,
not that I know of.
I mean,
here's a question.
I mean, that'd be
Jacob,
good just to
do you know
completely
who
divorce.
Punchline is?
I do not.
There we go.
Well, if they want to
ahead,
raise
Bree.
her profile.
Yeah, go ahead, Bree.
No, I was just gonna say because if they truly want like Harley to be like her own thing, like I feel like just completely divorcing them and just having punchline
Yeah.
in there, it would just be like kind of killing two birds with one stone sort of deal.
Wasn't
I
there
would just
also-
hate to see Harley just, them just redo the Harley Joker dynamic.
I
again.
know, especially since we're getting that Joker
getting the
2
movie.
thing.
Ah,
Yeah.
that was the one I forgot. Gaggy. Does anyone remember Gaggy?
Gaggy.
His original sidekick. I remembered this little fucker.
Wait, are you talking?
This guy.
Oh God.
No.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Gagsworth A. Gagsworthy.
Gagsworth A. Gagsworthy?
Oh, comics are weird.
I love comics. I was like, there's a really weird clown that was a sidekick before Harley, and then
And-
Captain Clown. Dang,
Okay,
you know,
Captain Clown.
Clown.
Captain Clown. I could see Captain Clown.
Bud and Lou. I wouldn't mind a modernized version of that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind the Jokers.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. But let me tell you,
Judge
can we just talk
Judy.
about that? Can we just talk about that first Joker? Like he looks like he's on
Frank.
fucking meth.
He does. Prank. I forgot about Prank. Mr. Hammer.
Mr.
yeah, no.
Hammer.
It'd be interesting if you brought in, or just period had nothing. I mean, whatever they do with it. But, like you said, bring in some weird people. Either way,
Gagsworthy. I mean, it doesn't get much weirder than that.
also known as Gaggy.
Gaggy. It's enough to make
Yeah,
me gag.
I could make a joke about this, but I don't want us to get banned from Twitch, so I'm not.
Yeah, let's not do that. All right. So
I don't know where you're going with that.
let's not do that. All right. We're gonna end with some Marvel stuff here before I do the new segment. All right. Deadpool and Wolverine. We talked about it in a review. We talked about it on the Capes. I just kind of wanted to mention here. Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy have been the cause of 2 movies that hit me at unbelievably specific moments in my life.
Mm-hmm.
To the point of where they might be one of my favorite director-actor duos ever. When Free Guy came out, I was in a spot where I was just working myself to the bone with overtime, getting stuck, doing all this shit, feeling like I didn't matter and was just in the background of all this stuff. And then I watched that movie and felt like I was experiencing every thought I ever had. And it just hit me like a brick wall. I didn't think that movie was going to hit me that hard. And then this thing comes out, and I expect to have the most extensive funny to ever funny and especially after, again, the price of the ticket is worth that intro. It just thank you, Blake Lively, for telling Ryan that they need to have more aughts music instead of all 80s, because that was her suggestion, and she was the one that approached NSYNC about it. She knows full well, Blake, you'll never see this, but thank you. I needed that intro in my life. And then I just went through a big thing of where not feeling important, like, at all, both sides of my actual blood family just being unbelievably stupid. And I mean stupid to an extent of which I cannot even explain. To, like, people that don't know, I changed my last name legally because of getting rid of my dad's original last name. Did you see that? Yes, I did see that marketing. That was funny. Where, to the dad that was my father figure for a long time, my youth pastor. And then there was a point where I had a conversation with my mom recently with how stupid that my family's being, that I told her point blank that I was like, Mom, if you weren't alive, that would have been a straightforward adoption and not just some name change. She's like, you're serious? I'm like, yeah, I'm at that point with our family of how just stupid they are being and just cannot get their heads out of their own asses and realize that they're causing their own problems and then projecting it onto everyone else. And then just, I wanted so bad to just, like, some things that I was working on to get done and, like, feel like I was accomplishing something and being important. And then all of this came through about just you're important, being you, and you, who the person you are, is important, and, like, the little bit of family that you have, even if it's not a huge thing, is important. Like, everyone around here, the Hatfields and everything, like, that whole picture, them holding up that my whole world is this photo, and it's 9 people, it's not a lot, but everyone I love is in this photo. Mm-hmm. Like, that hit me so fucking hard, of, like, how I can name maybe 15 people that I can think of off the top of my head that I know would genuinely want to hear right away that I passed away. Like, at this point, with how stupid people are getting nowadays, that they can't get over their own shit. And it just hit me so freaking hard. And again, a Deadpool movie. Didn't think that was going to happen. But, yeah, I just, that whole montage at the end of those two going through everything that they wanted with, like, a prayer playing in the background. And here's another rant that I'm going to go on. Anyone that has ever looked at these Deadpool movies and said with a straight face that there's no heart in them, to quote The Rock, off is the direction in which you can fuck. Mm-hmm. Every one of them has had the base element of it, of Deadpool trying to get back to the love of his life.
Yep.
And be there with her and be important. But it's a corporate movie, so it's bad. Sarcasm. No, trust me, Umbreon, that's the exact shit I'm talking about. You're 100% right. And I'm sick of hearing that take. And then someone just put on Twitter, like, this movie has no heart. Excuse me, Hugh Jackman says otherwise. And it cuts to that thing of, like, for the first time in my life, I'm proud to wear this suit. It makes me an X-Man, the X-Man. There's points where I talked about with Mike, not only in our review, but during that, like, where you actually feel the actor talking in that moment and not the character.
That's right.
Yep.
That was fucking Hugh Jackman saying how proud he was to be in that movie and in that moment and how much it meant to him.
And what is
just
Deadpool
because-
all about? Breaking the fourth wall.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
anyone who just goes, well, it's an MCU movie, so it's stupid. Please stop. I'm sorry that you heard one quote from Martin Scorsese and then built your entire life around it. Please go outside and meet other people. Please, God. To quote that great new GIF and new meme that I found from Spider-Man, that's a great opinion. Did a YouTuber give it to you?
I love that gift.
But yeah, I wanted to bring this up because on my 6th showing, I noticed another thing in the background.
6.
So, you know that scene where they're on the Sentinel leg
Yep.
and they escape Goliath and it shoots in the air and they go off to where they have their little spat and they go eat? In the background, my first time watching it, I noticed the destroyed Death Stars in the background.
Oh.
And I had an inkling my 4th and 5th time watching it that the thing that was in front of it was something else too. And I watched it specifically the 6th time around. Fucking Pride Rock from Lion King is in front of it.
What? You're kidding.
I shit you
Amazing.
not. Rewatch it. You will see the rock formation looks exactly like this with a straight rock up and it going like this and a split that goes out. It's fucking Pride Rock.
Let's hope it's the live action version, quote unquote.
Pretty much. I've watched this movie 6 times and I'm still noticing new things. This is unbelievable.
On my
Wait,
second
wait.
time,
It's like I said. It's like Hot Fuzz. You can watch this thing over and over and pick up new things.
on the second time I noticed that at the party, Just Call Me Angel was playing.
Yeah. Oh, and the other thing that Heiser's brought this up before I had a chance to. This comment here. This utter ungodly stupidity right here. Hey everyone. Christian of 33 years here. I'm going to let you know a couple of things. If you walked into Deadpool 3, period, and you thought you were going to have problems with gay jokes, and a person nailed to an X, it is not a cross, you dull-headed imbeciles, and it was not religiously motivated. That is a scene from a comic book where he was nailed
is
to
a
an
scene.
X by racists who hate
Yes.
mutants.
Yes.
They're not, and also, Deadpool calling himself Marvel Jesus is not blasphemy. And the fact that we got to this point, where literally in Deadpool 2, he goes, yes, I'm more important than Jesus. Worldwide, not domestically, though. Like, he's been making these jokes already, but also, where I talked with, again, very good Christian friends of mine, where's your line? Because if you're going to complain about gay jokes in a movie, which were hilarious, by the way, and that, you thinking that's there, why are you watching Deadpool movies?
Yeah, why are you watching it?
Exactly.
Don't watch it.
Anyone who is an actual Christian, Brock is going to be the Deadpool version of that Captain Marvel. I need an
There
explanation
was
of
a-
that.
there was
I know.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know
there's a
what
guy
that
who's
is.
seen
Yeah,
Captain
yeah,
Marvel
yeah.
like 900 times.
Who?
So?
I'm not. Mike,
Why?
I'm literally not. I'm literally not hearing what you're saying, Mike. Like
There
I
was a-
didn't hear you.
There was a guy on Twitter who went to see the first Captain Marvel like 900 times.
Oh, okay, that's funny. Yeah, I
Okay.
am gonna turn into that guy. But
So what?
No, and it's not bad. But I just
It's not bad.
If you made it, and this is the only time you're ever gonna hear me bring up religion in this podcast. For those that don't know, my 2 rules are no religion and no politics. I will not talk religion and politics, but I will talk stupid. Because this is stupid. If you made it through Deadpool 1, that has an unmarital sex montage in the first 10 minutes, after where of which Vanessa and Wade brag to each other about trauma bragging, joking about being raped by their uncles. You have where we're looking for Vanessa in a strip club. We have naked Ryan. I don't know if you saw it fully naked, but naked Ryan Reynolds after the thing fighting Ajax in there, and just all of this stuff. You make it through that. Then we get to the second one, where it is nothing about, and again, I don't think this is a bad thing whatsoever, where they make jokes about killing pedophiles, because guess what? If you are one, you don't deserve to live. But you have this entire thing about joking about murdering pedophiles and all these other things, and just point blank, unabashed murder and swearing and sex. And you made it to Deadpool 3 and went, no, the devil made this movie. That's not my Deadpool. What fucking movies were you watching? Your Deadpool?
Hey, new Deadpool variant.
There's
Devilpool.
whole comics about Deadpool murdering every person that existed in the Marvel comic books, including the editors. Stop this stupidity.
Brock, their Deadpool is the one from X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh my god.
Even that one's not worth watching if you're a Christian. He murders 30 people in 5 minutes. Even that one doesn't match this stupid belief. Again, Christian here. Regular church-going Christian. Every single Sunday for 33 years of my life. Or I should say probably 30, because I don't know if I was being brought when I was a child. Stop. Just stop. You're literally trying to gather clout online by lying about your Christian beliefs. Guess what? Newsflash. That's not something God would want you to do. If you're an actual Christian, that is one of the most ungodly things ever. Because if you're going, yeah, I was okay with watching the sex joke riddled murder movies for the first two, but no, not this third one. That's when my Christianity kicked in. Get off of social media ever. You're not an actual Christian. Good Lord, stop. Just never turn on a computer ever again, and never question anyone's ever need or anything about how you're more Christian than them, because you don't understand what it means if you're drawing lines for yourself and not obeying them yourself. That's it. That's the most you'll ever hear me bring up religion on this podcast ever again.
Amen.
Good God.
Brock, I'm really gonna miss these rants.
You can still listen to them on YouTube.
I'm just gonna miss being in the same room as you're doing that is what I mean.
My chest actually hurts. I'm actually in pain. This is the most I've screamed on a podcast ever. But anyway, I don't doubt it. Brock, not Christian. I thought your name was Brock, not Christian. Everyone knows Deadpool is a good Christian hero.
Yes.
So much got invited to the premiere.
This is very true.
Free. That's awesome. But all right.
I mean, look, he has his holy feet.
Anyway, did anyone else want to bring up any random thoughts you might not have on Deadpool while we have it? Because I just wanted one last time to talk about it.
I just love the Chris Evans cameo, and I love what Pyro does to him.
Yes. That delivery into the and no one laughs at what my favorite moment of that whole buildup is. Like, he goes, oh, you're not gonna like what happens next. He's like, oh, he's gonna say it. And he turns around and slaps the sword that is stabbed in Wolverine's chest in excitement. No one laughs at that one little touch as much as I do. And then the Avengers Ascent Flame on. What now? That delivery is so good.
Well,
Kiona, did you actually get to see it?
No, but I've seen spoilers.
Tell us more on your thoughts in Christianity and Zack Snyder. You don't want me to get into a thought about combining Christianity with Zack Snyder because you'll be here for 15 hours and it won't be a good time.
Jesus.
Anyway, if we really ain't got much else, we'll basically just do the Hall H stuff because
which my background has been foreboding to that. Just the little.
We're gonna have one.
I have a feeling I'm gonna be an island.
We're gonna be no, Kiona. Here's the thing. I'm not against the fact that it was a good thing. I'm going against the fact that it's gonna royally bite them in the ass later because this sounds like a plea for help. Mm-hmm. All right.
Perhaps.
So at the Hall H panel.
Not entirely wrong.
We got announcements. Not a whole lot new for new Captain America. Other
Pretty
than the
standard boilerplate stuff.
Other than the fact that legitimately everyone was wrong about who Giancarlo Esposito was playing.
Yeah.
Literally everyone.
Yeah.
And they brought back the best joke ever from Civil War where they are actually having the Serpent Society in this movie. Because those that don't remember, Captain America Serpent Society was the fake title during the presentation until they switched it to Civil War. I don't know how many people remember that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah, no, I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We're
so
finally getting
that was pretty basic. Other than Anthony Mackie's rant where he's like, "That's Harrison Ford! Tell Tom Holland we got fucking Harrison Ford!"
Yes, that was amazing. That was really funny.
That was funny. But okay, I'm going to have my rant, and then I'm going to let everyone have their own opinions.
Okay.
So we had the Russos get announced as the new directors. It's a safe choice. It is what it is. They're going to make good movies, in my opinion. People say they're tasteless. I can say you're dumb. We can all have our arguments. It's all about objective taste.
Yeah.
But they announced Robert Downey Jr. as Doom. There's a couple reasons why this is inadvertently, through not them trying to do a bad thing, in my opinion, going to bite them in the ass. Because, A, to anyone who saw it, can accurately say, and bringing the Russos back, that this sounded like a cry for help and we need to course correct harder than we've ever course corrected in our entire life, because you could have just fucking recasted Kang. There's no reason why you couldn't have.
Aldous Hodge was right there. Aldous Hodge.
And exactly.
Kang sucked, though. Kang sucked.
No.
He sucked as a villain.
In one movie, one version of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Council of Kangs? Council of
Kangs
Kangs? That gave you hope?
That we got to see nothing of other than them cheering. So we got to see no actual story plot with them or
I don't.
anything.
Maybe they could have done something. Maybe. I don't know though. I think it was kind of not going in a good direction. Anyway, go ahead.
Wasting 9 movies and 5 TV shows worth of build up to go. Oops. Sorry, you wasted 5 years of your life. We're not doing that anymore. When we could have just written a really good version of him in the movie and then sent it off because we only needed him one more time.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
it.
I see your point.
Like that's what I mean. Where it's like, even if one version was bad, cool. That's the part about Kang. You can make a really badass version of him different. You could just have Jonathan Majors with his fucking T-shirt off, and I could feel that he could beat the fuck out of Thor because he looked intimidating as shit in Creed. But
True.
You cast Robert Downey Jr. and you switch it to Doom. In
Okay.
my opinion, Doom should be an Avengers villain 3 Avengers films from now.
Yes.
And it should also be the actual Doctor Doom. I do not mind that they're doing this, because anyone who's bitching and complaining, yes, they actually did at one point have a variant of Tony Stark turn into Doctor Doom. 2 separate times, actually. But here's the thing. On top of the inadvertent sound like a cry for help, you're going to get a mass of people that are going to accuse Marvel of whitewashing over this. Because they are.
Yes.
Because it's a Romani person. And then
That is a fair criticism.
It is. And
Yeah.
his first version on screen is not going to be the actual person. And that's what's going to come into my point later. Then you had to scrap all that stuff. Then we get the hearing that, by the way, instead of just after we had to have a strike for however long because we can barely afford to give our actors enough food to eat, we find out that he's going to get well more than $80 million to play this role.
That is also a fair criticism.
Fucking why? When you could have A, recasted Kang and then moved on and did something else instead of doing to show that you had all this money the entire time. Why are you showing your balls now? Because you're scared. You give all this money to the Russos and then say, by the way, he's going to make 18 billion times more. And then, from what my understanding is, he's only in 2 movies. He's going to be him in the 2 Avengers movies, and then it's going to be the actual Doctor Doom. Hey guys, just curiosity.
Yeah.
Did anyone ever say from now on at a near cult level basis that anyone else can ever play Iron Man? And if anyone ever tried, they would fucking rage bait him off the internet and harass him and say, you're not fucking Robert Downey Jr., get the fuck out of here, you're not Iron Man. Question what's gonna happen when they try to cast the actual fucking Doctor Doom.
I'm not going to be on the internet that day.
That person is going to get their ass ripped to shreds for playing a role that they're going to probably do a very good job at just because they're not fucking Robert Downey Jr., who I love, by the way, but because we had to hit the fucking break glass button and then fuck over a character who needed to be played by a different person later on who should be very fucking important to the MCU going on outside of his own Avengers movie where he's the villain in, that is going to be completely fucked more than Kang ever was, even if he does a good job, strictly because he's not Robert Downey Jr. That is why I don't like this decision, because you royally just fucked a bunch of stuff with a character that people have been waiting to get a good version of as the actual Doctor Doom for 2 different versions of this fucking movie franchise. All in one announcement. And then everyone takes that as, what? You don't believe variants can be there? No. I actually put thought behind it. This is why I'm like, is no one else seeing any of this?
No,
At all?
I'm seeing all of that, and this kind of goes back to it's weird. Ever since we sadly lost Chadwick Boseman, Marvel has been very frustrating when it comes to who gets recast and who doesn't. Okay,
I agree with you
Harrison
there.
Harrison Ford stepping in for William Hurt. I understand because they want to have Thaddeus Ross continue, and Harrison Ford's a good actor.
And they need to get their Red Hulk at some point.
Yeah, they need to get their Red Hulk
And
at
William
some point.
Hurt and his previous actor was a piece of shit monster. So you know what? The better we forget about him, you know.
Yeah, but they're not going like. I understand emotionally why they didn't recast T'Challa because
It was too soon.
yeah, it was too soon and
Chadwick and Bottom that made that character. Chadwick, it was his.
yeah, like there's a lot of loaded emotions surrounding all of that. So I understand if it felt too soon to recast. But and then I will play devil's advocate to a certain extent why they're not recasting Kang because what Jonathan Majors did was A, pretty recent, and B, like now the unfortunate thing is like the general audience is going to they think that the general audience is now only going to refer to Kang as Jonathan Majors, and because of what he did.
You know what? I don't even think it's so much that. I think it's more that Ant-Man Quantumania bombed.
Oh yeah, no, that
People
yeah,
were cons-
that
they were
definitely-
like considering replacing Kang as the bad even before the allegations against Majors, from what I've heard.
right, and it's just all of that combined resulted in breaking the RDJ glass because Marvel desperately needs a win, and yeah, that's a great point.
That's
They
because it's
recast Johnny Depp in Fantastic Beasts, and nobody gave a shit.
Yes. So, and it's one of those things where, okay, cool, we broke out, and again, Fiona, not against the idea. I agree with you there. Can be a really cool idea. What if the mutant saga doesn't work too? You can't break that glass again. By the way, now Robert Downey Jr. as the Living Tribunal. You just what like?
Now that I might have actually liked.
But
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I don't know.
I'm kidding.
No,
No.
Fiona, you talk because you like the announcement. So go.
I just like the announcement because I think we're finally going to have a good actor playing Doctor Doom. I don't know. No. That
You mean a
okay. Let me
well-written
rephrase
Dr.
that. Let me rephrase that because there have been good actors who have played the role in the past. It's just a matter of how they wrote the character and how they portrayed him. I don't think they did him justice.
Yep.
I think with the Russos making these movies, and I think that with Robert Downey Jr. there in the role, I think it will at least be a well-written role. And I think that it's just something where the idea of it makes me happy, but I also understand like entirely where you're coming from with like the whitewashing of the casting. That's, that's absolutely a fair point. The salary he's getting for the role, I mean, of course they're gonna pay him a shit ton of money. But yeah, I do agree with you there. Like just coming off the actor strike, it's not entirely great optics. I think what you're saying is, and that may be the understatement of the century, but I think that what you're saying is absolutely fair criticism. My hope is that no matter what they do with the character, that it just makes for an entertaining villain, and I think it will, because I think in terms of story possibilities, there's a lot that you could do with this. I think what he said when he was revealed of new mask, same task, I think that is very meaningful in terms of like what we're going to see with the character. And I just think the idea behind it being a sort of maybe an evil version of Tony Stark or whatever it is that they go with, whether he's a variant, whether he's a Victor Von Doom of another world who just happens to look like Tony Stark. I don't know, that seems dumb to me, but whatever. I just hope that they give a reasoning behind it, and I hope that they do a good job of like portraying the character finally. If it's not entirely comic book accurate, then I'm hoping that it leads to something in the future. I'm just willing to give it a chance to see where it goes.
Yeah,
I'm willing to give it a
I'm kind of
chance.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree,
Yeah,
Kiana. I agree.
Yeah, I'm kind of halfway too. Like, I like the idea of Robert Downey Jr. as Doom. However, the fact that this is like our first like cinematic version of Doom in this film universe, it's a lot of issues. Like now, Doctor Doom, the normal traditional comics accurate one was around for a little bit, and then we had the RMA variant. I would have no issues with this, but considering that Marvel has had issues in the past with whitewashing in general, but specifically with like Romani characters, like I think the criticism is rightfully right to be there.
I agree with you. There.
And
Yeah.
the other issue that I'm gonna have, and they're not, and then my problem is that they're gonna want to make sure people see all the time of the expositing and the facial features and stuff. If I watch this movie and RDJ's Doom A is just Doom but acting like Iron Man, I'm gonna hate it. And if he doesn't keep that fucking mask on, I'm gonna blow a gasket.
This is why they have never really done Doom justice at all in previous live action iterations. I honestly think the closest they came to perfection is in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but that's in the cartoons, and that shows like the exception to the rule.
The only time I would want that mask to come off, and it is the one genuine reason why I'm kind of excited for this variant idea, I want that mask to come off one time, and I want it to happen in a fight with Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Yes. Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So you can literally have a rerun of Wanda and Thanos. I don't even know who you are.
Yeah.
Other than that, I don't want that mask leaving his face. Do not sign up to play this character unless that mask is going to be on your face the entire time.
But guys, I think we're missing the true tragedy of this casting. RDJ has just won an Oscar for Oppenheimer, okay? And the sad thing is that because he's so busy with playing Doctor Doom, that means that his first role after winning an Oscar will not be Doolittle 2.
You can't give them what they want right away. You can't do that. You cannot give them what you want.
One of
right
the
away.
biggest hits of 2020. for like, and it absolutely would have been there under normal circumstances. It was not in the top 10 by default at all.
Maybe he's actually Dr. Doolittle.
No, and then they have an Iron Man variant that's Eddie Murphy.
And another one who's Rex Harrison.
Yeah.
You know how
Yes.
much money I would kill for Eddie Murphy to be in a Marvel movie?
You know what? What will make up for this, and I mean this honest to God, I don't know if they could ever pull this off, but anyone who knows what was originally supposed to happen, if in this movie, with this Doctor Doom, if we get a variant of Iron Man fighting him played by Tom Cruise.
Oh my God.
Because that's who was supposed to be him originally.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if
I would
I don't
love
know.
to see that.
That is a
So-
person
so-
I'd be like, give him the $80 million to put him in a comic book movie because I don't see him doing it otherwise.
You know, if we do that, yes, the $80 million would be for just Tom Cruise to build his actual own
Iron Man suit. Yes.
Do you remember Young Avengers, the original comic? The like original in the early 2000s, like that run, the very first run, and there was a character named Iron Lad.
Yeah.
I know
And do you
going with this.
remember that he was actually Kang?
Yeah. I remember that.
They could do something with that, maybe.
Yeah, I remember. There was also a version of, wasn't it, Reed Richards is also a variant of Kang? No, not Reed Richards. Franklin Richards.
Yeah.
I believe Franklin Richards is a variant of Kang.
There
or,
was
like,
that.
Becomes
I
Kang.
thought it was Nathan.
Maybe this whole
Nathan.
thing is a misdirect. I don't even know at this point.
I don't know. I thought it was a Richards child. I can't remember which one. Is
Yeah.
it Nathan Richards?
Oh, I think it was Nathan. I think it was
Nathan? Okay.
I think it was
I remember
Nathan.
there was something like that.
but
but-
I don't really remember
yeah.
entirely though. Yeah.
If we're going to do this level of cameos for whatever bullshit, I want that one. Like, that would be the other one. And, like, they're going to have a bunch of people doing a lot of things for this movie for salary reasons. I'm waiting to see that somehow that this Secret Wars movie has to make $3 billion to break even.
Good God.
Oh, God.
Because
Well, all I can
salaries
say-
alone, this freaking movie's going to cost $400 million.
Jesus
All I can say
Christ.
is that 5-year-old me that wore the Doctor Doom costume that one Halloween to school when I was in kindergarten is definitely happy.
I'll be happy for you, too. I'll just be happy, I hope to God, that the raging mob gives the guy who plays the actual Victor Von Doom a fucking chance after this.
Me too. Me too.
That's my biggest concern.
Yeah.
Please, please cast a Romani actor for once in the entire MCU. Do the right thing.
Kang is a descendant of Reed Richards. Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
well,
a descendant of Reed Richards? I don't know. Yeah.
Currently, the two biggest movie series are Avengers and Avatar, and if either one of those or both of those goes, then then the whole future of movies in Hollywood is kind of
No, they still
What?
have Fast and Furious. Those will keep kicking somehow.
like who knows who
Yeah.
like what will replace Marvel if
DC
that
if
goes,
they get their shit together.
And
Or-
they will.
or Nintendo maybe
I don't see
or at
Nintendo.
least the Mario movies, at least the Mario.
Now, you have to think in that statement, Jacob. You just said replacing Marvel, which makes at one point made 3 movies a year that made $1 billion. I don't see more than one Nintendo movie coming out a year ever.
Especially since we're staying, like, animated for the most part. With the exception of that Zelda movie. I mean, it's going to be hard to, like, pump them out quickly.
Especially
It doesn't. I
quality grade.
don't really know like if it would have to like they would have to pump out movies that frequently to be the next big franchise because like they
I know that's
it
not
won't
to
be
say
as big
replacing
as
the-
Marvel.
yes.
Like it won't
That's
be
what I mean
as
by
big.
this.
It won't be as I'm just saying like whatever replaces Marvel will not be as big as Marvel. It'll just be the biggest movie franchise that's currently going. It doesn't have to necessarily be as big as Marvel to be the biggest franchise currently going on.
Look, I get that too, but you just said the next biggest one is a franchise that has only 2 films.
Fair enough.
So it's one of those things where it could be literally anything. Like right now, if Joker makes $1 billion, it's this one of the biggest ever. If Joker 2 does,
And I actually
Joker
think,
cinematic universe.
I actually think Joker 2 will make
Oh.
$1 billion.
It will make.
could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely could. It'll be one of those things where the only thing I could see it turning off from people is people not wanting to see it because it's a musical.
Which is stupid because...
It is stupid, but those those people exist.
Oh, I know.
And it's the same people that watched the first one that went, I want that, not that as a musical.
Then again, like somehow, like the movie-going audience manifested The Greatest Showman into making like $500 million. So
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah.
And Star Wars certainly, like, people aren't as enthused about Star Wars like they once were. So I'm skeptical of how Mandalorian and Grogu would do. Do you guys see that being a hit?
Hard to tell.
I think I'll do all right, but it's probably gonna not have as big of a budget. So I don't think it has like the same like concerns.
Because Solo, that bombed.
Well, Solo was also god fucking awful. So
I didn't think it was that. I had
don't think it was
a
that bad.
reasonably good time with it. Agree, disagree.
That's me, but
Well, let's
yeah.
not get into this. Okay.
But yeah, and also even if that movie was a masterpiece, you don't
Yeah.
come into the same thing after a rock solid venture with the rest of them. They aren't doing good on any measure. I still don't think they made a better Star Wars movie than Rogue One at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't made a good inline movie since Force Awakens.
A lot of pressure's on James Gunn right now.
Well, and the worst
Save
part
us,
about that
James
is-
Gunn. You're our only hope.
And the worst part about that is, it's not even on James Gunn to make a good movie. It's on people who are Snyder cultists to let themselves think it's a good movie.
I don't know if that'll ever happen.
Just
That'll
saying.
never happen.
Because people will
that feels
think,
like we're asking
no,
for
it's just a. You know what comment I'm waiting for? That's just a Marvel movie with a DC sticker on it. I'm not watching it.
Oh yeah. it's
They're
totally-
already getting ready to type like
they're already
like
doing
just
that.
super close to the keyboard.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting on it.
Zack Snyder.
Because like you can already see how media literacy's freaking dead with the costumes that they showed off. They have Lord company logos on them. They're meant to look bad. They're corporate assigned costumes. The fact that a 4-year-old could figure that out, they're like, yeah, the costumes look like shit. James Gunn's bad. They're made by a corporate douchebag. They're meant to look terrible. The point is
really-
to show you can be a.
Yeah, and it's really interesting that they have the Maxwell Lord version of the Justice League running around in that Superman movie. I think that's a really interesting thing.
I was
It is,
gonna
it's
say,
gonna-
like,
They're gonna show that Superman's a real hero and they don't have to act like how they do. I see that a mile away.
Mm-hmm. Which
and
is entirely Superman.
the benefit also of the DC movies is that, well, we know that James Gunn's obviously able to make successful movies with like D-list titles like Guardians. So the Authority, you know, like it's not Superman, but James Gunn can definitely make it Superman.
No, and everyone who just, he's. People are always like, yeah, the MCU is really good because they have a comic-oriented guy with really good taste behind it. Yeah, if only DC would have got one of them. Oh wait,
Yeah.
they did, and y'all are mad about it. I'm sorry that not everything is in slow motion and gratuitously long with Jesus imagery in it and has to be remixed 100 times. You can have movies other than that.
And over the
It
top
can be
sex
good.
scene. You're gonna watch that?
Oh, hey man.
Oh, yeah, but I
Everyone
mean,
needs to
come
have
on.
some erectile dysfunction unless you're in an owl costume. Like, like it's not
I
just not a
forgot
good
about
movie.
that.
If
That's
you can't.
Watchmen, though.
You also got to like see Dr. Manhattan's dick for all of. It's like, yeah, because you know that was a directorial choice that needed to happen.
I mean,
He's a
you don't want to
genius.
see that blue beauty just streaking across the screen.
No, I don't need a reminder of my own inadequacies. Thank you. But, yeah.
I feel you there, Brock. I feel you there.
I mean, mine's green, so I don't need to talk, but... I don't know. That's all that I really had for that. Now, I had this conversation with Mike, and now this is a person who's been in a comic property before. From now on, I'm going to try and pick someone who hasn't, but we're going to do a thing at the end of these called Casting Call, where I'm going to come up with one
Lord.
person who has not been in a DC or a Marvel main line movie. When I say this, people, I don't mean the little random side projects like Jonah Hex and Kick-Ass that no one even realizes are DC movies. Now, the person who I'm picking, because me and Mike had this conversation the other day, is Laz Alonso, Mother's Milk from The Boys.
Okay.
If you had to put him in Marvel or DC, who would it be? As a character who has not already been portrayed, or as in DC they're being rebooted to be?
I don't have a pick, obviously.
Marvel's tough because anyone who I think he could. You know what?
I know for DC. I'm just looking at his pictures. I already have the answer.
I have my answer too, but I just thought of this. You know how everyone thought that Giancarlo Esposito was playing what was his name?
George Washington Bridge.
George Washington Bridge.
Yeah,
That's who I
GW
think
Bridge.
Laz Alonso could play.
Yes.
Yeah.
See that?
Umbreon has one that I've thought of for a while.
That's a good one too. But
That's a
not,
very
not the
good-
one I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm. But
I actually have two for DC for Laz. One would be Black Lightning, because I think he would crush it. But the other one, and the one I'm a little bit more passionate about, I think he would make a great John Henry Irons.
Oh
yeah,
God,
we had
yes,
this-
you
we
are
had that
absolutely
discussion
right.
The other day. Yeah, he'd be pretty good as that. Bree.
Mike just took my answer
Which
Black
one?
Lightning.
Oh,
Now, Heisers, the only thing we have to say is they have Aaron Davis in Marvel already.
yeah.
Oh, you know
that's Donald Glover.
Donald Glover.
Yeah, you know what? The other thing that it might be interesting, Green. If we ever do it, Green Lantern. That's the other one I was thinking.
Oh yeah,
That's what Umbreon mentioned with Jon Stewart.
John
Yeah.
Stewart.
Yeah, I didn't have. There was one, Mike. What was the one that I said to you? Because I forgot it, and I don't
hold
remember
on.
what chat we said it in.
I'll find it.
Kiona, you got any?
Marvel. I
Orange.
just had it in my head and now I'm forgetting. For Marvel, I think I can have one for DC and for Marvel. But for Marvel, I would say Bishop.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I think he
that.
would be excellent in that role. And for DC, it's a little tougher. I was thinking like. Go ahead and crap on my choice, Umbreon. I would say either like Martian Manhunter
Oh.
Ooh.
or
Ooh.
um
Man, it's really irritating me that I can't think of the one I said to my.
or
It's really good. It wasn't even my choice. Someone said it.
what about like
Someone
Milestone? What about like Milestone characters? Because I was gonna say
Like-
Icon.
Like Icon.
Yeah.
Icon could be good. I could see it being that. Oh man, like the main one that Mike mentioned that I was thinking of in DC was John Henry Irons. So that one's like really up there. I don't think he's gonna beat Shaq, obviously, but
Brock,
People
you,
like-
you said Black Lightning.
Well, I did say Black Lightning. Okay, yep, there we go. Yeah, okay, so there, that was my one for that. For Marvel, balls, man. I don't think that. what? Oh man, there's a shit. Oh, Tombstone.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
He'd
I
be
could see that.
great as Tombstone. I was
I
trying
could
to
see
think of
that.
thing. I'm like, I know that I've seen him in one of the Marvel games where he'd be really good as Tombstone. He'd have a different opinion of like running like a biker gang and stuff like that, but it wouldn't be too far off of Mother's Milk if you just twisted it a certain way with kind of like how. But
True.
yeah, Tombstone would be really good. They need a live action Tombstone. I'd love that so much. Give Lonnie Lincoln
would
some
be so
love, damn
good.
it. Like I said, the next one, I'm going to start going through IMDb and trying my damnedest to find people who haven't been in anything. But, yeah. That was one. I'm going to try keeping that forward. I'm trying to get different stuff in here to vary it other than just a list of topics. But, yeah, no, those are some good ones.
Yeah.
And, yeah, we're going on. I'm gonna basically start a list and a doc, and at some point I might open it up to have other names dumped into that thing. But, yeah,
I have some names too, and there's one in particular that has been crawling inside my brain for, well, a couple years now, actually.
Okay, well, message it to me, and we might do it on the next one. All right, that's all I've got. We can get on out of here. All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching as normal. I greatly appreciate it. My voice is legitimately dying. I don't think I've screamed this much in a podcast ever.
I was thinking, man, you should
This is the most
drink some tea or something.
Oh, I'm going to like slam a gallon of tea after we're done here. But
Yeah.
anyway, Kiona, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter, Neoplasmic24. Also on Renegade Pop Culture, where I host the Renegade Arcade podcast. Also on twitch.tv/Neoplasmic. Yeah.
All right, Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at
You can have a few more rants.
You guys can check out my quick
Thanks,
thoughts on
Umbria.
letterboxd.com/CoachK482. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and that place at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. Yes,
And
even
Pandora.
And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You need to escape, so do we.
Pandora,
Great.
Brock, you mentioned you called Pandora like the red-haired child of like music streaming.
It is the redheaded stepchild
Kind of
of the
is.
streaming services. Like, I forgot like that it exists most days. And my favorite thing was like Mike just went randomly and Pandora for some reason.
I feel like
Like he was upset that it was on Pandora.
Like, I feel like Pandora is like the streaming service you listen to in like your doctor's office, like reception office, because I swear to Christ, every time, those are the only people that use Pandora.
That's true.
Or in the break
Yeah,
room at
you're
work.
right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
All right, Bree, where can everybody find you?
At Crazy Lemur at most places, mostly on LaTwits and on Discord. No, you can't be my friend there. And then, I'll usually post my gay opinions, occasionally some art, and then, trying to use Instagram more, just trying to post stuff, but it's like trying to figure out, what should I post, for AI stuff, because I don't feel like putting stuff that's super important, but I'm trying. So, yeah, just, find me there.
Absolutely. And Jacob, this is going to be your last zeroing out, buddy. So for anything that they would want to keep in touch with you with, where can everybody find you?
Find me on Facebook, Joe Crable, Krehbiel. I will say that there's no confirmation yet if this will be my last like zeroing out or RPC episode, but it does look like I'm not going to be back for a while. Sad to say, but yeah, that's my Facebook profile. If you guys ever want to like, I don't know, like reach out to me, that's where I am.
All right. Awesome. And you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. I was going to Twitch tomorrow, but I have a very good feeling that I'm not going to have a voice come tomorrow, so that might not happen. So we'll see. I might be playing Alan Wake tomorrow, or I might be sleeping. But anyway, you can find me there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you everyone for watching. Until next time, we will see you all later.
All right, bye.